Hey guys, how you doing? jpsarrireviews here. Welcome to this show, this Friday show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It's always fun to have the opportunity to be live here with you, and I truly enjoy it. So I want to say thank you to those who are watching this right now, which based on the numbers that I get reported here, there's not many people yet. But I know eventually they'll show up. You know, everyone comes at the right time. But definitely, I'm excited. I'm excited, totally excited. And looking at the stuff here, making sure everything is working, so we can get it all done right here. So this is where we at. So let me know, how's your day going? Definitely let me know. Really appreciate that. Hey Batman, how you doing, sir? Thank you very much for tuning in and making sure. Appreciate it, Batman. Thank you for taking time. Come and see me. I appreciate the support. There might be a little bit of delay, of course, because of the doing everything live, and I'm in a different room now than from when I normally do stuff. That's what happened when you have a family and you have to share space. But it's the fun part of, I think, being a collector as well. But thank you to all of you. To really, Batman, thank you very much for taking the time. But thank you everyone else that is watching and everyone that is going to come to watch it. Now, as we normally do every Friday, there's a lot to talk about. I hear cooking dinner. Yeah, that's my wife cook. So I didn't have to worry about that. Some steak and potatoes, which I love. But because I'm trying to take care of myself, I'm not really eating much. So I can't eat as much as I used to. And this morning we had an event at work, which is kind of fun. We had a team building event. So we went out and we are in the pretty much nice weather outside. So we went to some field and we just do a lot of different activities, which was kind of fun. And it was an early day, so they let us go. They divided the teams. They started last week, and a team went, and then the second team. So people from the office, from that work in the field. I work in the office, but there's a lot of people in different departments. So it was fun. And I came home. I said, I'm going to take a nap, took a nap. And before I do this, so that's what I'm doing now. But I want to say to all of you, thank you very much. But now, today, there's going to be a very interesting day. We have a few companies that I want to cover, and I want to discuss things that companies are doing, which is, in my opinion, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm telling you, when I was doing these videos daily, it was hard for me to keep up with everything. And now that I'm doing a weekly video, at least this live video, and I was able to at least to bring some videos in the week. I talk about the NECA Toys, the Turtle van, which I'm going to kind of talk about a little bit here today, but also have the opportunity to talk about the Ellen Ripley statue from Prime1 Studio for the Aliens fans. And I'm telling you, they look amazing, but it's everything piles up, and there's a lot that we need to talk about this week. Again, I'm gonna start a little bit talking about figures. We're gonna talk about NECA a little bit because I already talked about it in that previous video. I will have the link for those who are interested to watch it. You can always go through my videos and watch the most recent video. I talk about it this week, but I want to expand in some stuff that I didn't get the chance to talk about there. Also want to talk about Queen Studios in art. Primarily, I know this Sunday they're going to have a pretty much early on my time, 8 a.m. art time, but 8 p.m. their time in China. They're going to have, because there's a 12-hour difference, they're going to have a big event. They're going to showcase on their YouTube video, everything that is coming for this year, or at least the upcoming releases. And they're going to have a lot of surprises there. And I'm planning to go live on Sunday at 8 a.m. So come with me if you want to wake up early. Depending on your time, I will have a video, and it's gonna go there. It's gonna be recorded. So I'm gonna share what I think about the stuff that is coming out live. It's gonna be an hour video. So let's see what surprises they have. They're following the example of Prime1 Studio. In my opinion, that's the way to do it. So I'm glad that this company is taking the initiative. Other companies they need to do the same. But I want to talk about Queen Studios too, because there's some things that happened this week. There's always going to be some controversy. People accusing Queen Studios in art, which is the stuff they're doing for the action figures, the 1/6 scale figures, creating some drama because supposedly they're thinking that they're reopening pre-orders for the Joker, which is not the case. I'm going to talk about it a little bit here. Also, some things that they presented there on Facebook. So we're going to look at some of that stuff. I want to talk about Hot Toys. The new Sideshow, the Moon Knight figure. I think it's an amazing figure. I haven't watched the show yet. I don't know if you have watched the show, any of you. I think this is the second episode already. I'm waiting until probably the third episode, then I start watching, because I like to watch more episodes onto one. Who knows? Maybe this weekend we get the chance. Also want to talk about DC Direct. And this is a surprise to me because now McFarlane Toys is taking... We knew that McFarlane Toys was taking the control of DC Direct. We knew that from since last year. I talk about it. But it's kind of... He took his time to do certain things. But now this week he did a lot of announcements. A lot of stuff went on pre-order. And there's some good stuff there for those fans of DC Direct, and in my opinion, an iconic company that shouldn't die. It was sad when it was gone for a little bit, but now it's coming back. Hopefully this is a good comeback for the company now that Todd McFarlane is involved in the process. Who knows? I want to talk about also Giant LTD. Gentle Giant is releasing stuff. Normally I don't get the chance to talk about it because Gentle Giant now being controlled by Diamond Select Toys, and I want to talk about Diamond Select Toys too. They release some stuff, on the affordable side, some stuff not so much, because, everything is happening right now. As you know, the prices are going up. So because the prices are going up, it's just getting a little bit weird with the prices. It's a bit weird. Everything is going up, and some stuff that, in my opinion, shouldn't go up, it goes up. Some stuff, it stays the same. So who knows? It's hard to determine how they determine the prices. We're going to cover some of that stuff. Some of the stuff that, in my opinion, it's cool looking. We're going to look at that for those companies, Gentle Giant and Diamond Select Toys. Also want to talk about First for Figures. First for Figures released a new Sonic statue. You're a Sonic fan, of course, in the 30th anniversary of the character. I'm a big fan of Sega, fan of Sonic. So we're going to talk about the stuff that, in this case, First for Figures is releasing this week. There's some pre-order now. Also, I want to talk about Sideshow Collectibles. In this case, Sideshow didn't release anything this week, but there were some news, some images of the Storm statue. They're doing some changes, which is very surprising because Sideshow normally doesn't do changes. Historically, has never go back to the drawing board. Some minor things here and there, but for the most part, they do not do big changes. But they've been doing this lately with a lot of statues. And that is good. It's good news. I think that's part of the competition out there. It's really strong. So they feel that they need to also compete, and is listening to I would say the feedback of the collectors, the fan base, I think is important, and that's good. So I want to cover some of that stuff today. Also, we're going to talk about Prime1 Studio again. We're going to just go not as in depth as I did on my video. We're going to just review some stuff and point some other stuff that I didn't get the chance to point out there. And also some of you that watched the video just pointed out. So we're going to point some stuff out just in case. Also, we're going to talk about XM Studios, the Dawnbreaker. That's the new release for this week. Looks really, really good. And I want to cover that. It's one of the biggest releases for this week. And also PCS Collectibles. Now, we're kind of moving with the scales. PCS Collectibles is releasing the 1/3 scale. Ghostface, if you're a fan of the Scream franchise, of the horror Scream franchise, then definitely you're going to love it. It's something that PCS has been doing lately. And also, finally, at the end of the video, we're going to talk about Infinity Studio, the monstrous, the super-sized Sauron life-size bust that is super huge. And we want to talk about it today. So I want to say to all of you who are watching, thank you. Thank you for watching. And let's get into it. Welcome to all of you. You're welcome to come into the, in this case, the chat, and say whatever you need to say, your comments, your opinion. I'm always open for that. So first, I want to just kind of dive in, and I want to go into NECA Toys because I already talked about this, but I want to just expand a little more because to me, I'm excited for this, and I am actually pre-ordering. I'm going to pre-order this. For those who love the turtles, and this is the thing, and I talk about it, you can watch that video, but I talk about this, the turtle van, which in my opinion is amazing. Here in the website, you come directly. This is going to be available till the 19th of this month. So it's not really a big window of time. And they're not going to release this from any other source. It's only a website exclusive, so you cannot go to any other store. Perhaps in the future, never know, because people order stuff and they put it on their store. It may be the case. And NECA sometimes has been known for doing certain things, and then they kind of flip-flop and they do a second version of something different. So that possibility is there. But I will tell you, this is, and we're going to come to the US. because they're the same thing. It's just the place you choose to go. They do offer a payment plan for those who are interested. It's every 2 weeks, $62.50, I think, through Shop Pay. That's an option for those who cannot pay everything at once. I love this figure. I'm telling you, I love figures. I think it's a really cool depiction. Now, one thing I did not mention on the video, I did not mention while I was, doing this, is that, and some people pointed out in other videos, is that it looks a bit boxy. I did mention that feels and it looks a bit small. When you look at some of the pictures that were posted on Facebook and all of that, it looks really a bit small. It's only like 8 inches in width, which is not really that wide. Thinking that some of these figures are around like less than 7 inches, but they're within the 7-inch realm, so it's not really that wide. However, in the pictures, it appears that it's covering enough ground. Let me show you some things here. It's another picture, and this is everything that comes with it, which is kind of cool. It does have, but it's not as wide. And yes, it's half the price of the Super 7, but the Super 7 is gonna be a huge vehicle. Now, this is based on the cartoon, while the Super 7 is more based, of course, on the toy. On the Playmates toy. And I have the Playmates toy. I need to review at some point. It's still in the box, but I need to review it. At least the redo, the remake, not the remake, but they just re-released this, and I'm glad that I have it. But the thing is this. Now, going back to this point, so there's two different. In some ways, there's some similarities, but also some differences. But Super 7 is going big, and not only that, the Super 7, the one that we seen, the prototype that we seen, they said that they're gonna expand it because that was just in this case, a digital copy. It's gonna be 10% bigger. So it's gonna be even bigger than that. So when you look at that size of something and you look at the stuff that it comes with, then you realize that it's it kind of justifies the price. Not saying that, oh my gosh, I think that the price is the best thing ever, because I definitely don't think that the price is, it should be lower than that. But when you start looking at certain things, then you realize that, yeah, they have an option there. Now, one thing I like, this one has LED lights. The Super 7 doesn't have it. There is another version that is a bootleg version, or you can call it that. That is, I will tell you, it's cool, but not necessarily, like if you don't like unlicensed stuff, then definitely that's not for you. You want licensed stuff, you want to do things the right way in some ways, then that's for you. But at the same time, I think the pre-orders for that, they were already sold out, and perhaps you can find it later in the aftermarket, but it was around the price of this one. That one is really big. It's bigger, I think as big as the Super 7, and it also has some of the things here. Now, what I like about the Super 7 and some of the aspects of the Super 7 and that bootleg version is that I would say the front of it's not as boxy as this one. This one is very square, and that one is more rounded. The other two have more round finishes, which in my opinion, I think it's actually more accurate. Now, we also have to keep in mind that sometimes they have to make these adjustments just to fit it all into the budget that they want to sell this. If they start just going crazy with more add-ons and things like that, or making it bigger and the box is going to be bigger, then you look into a higher price tag. So I think they wanted to be within that realm of the $250, which I still think is a good price, and still be affordable. But when you can see the turtles here, it has size. I'm not saying that it's like too small. It's not. You can see the turtles are inside. There's 2 turtles right there sitting in the front, if you can look at that. There's, of course, Donatello holding the pizza at pretty much at the side door, and then of course you got Michelangelo on the top of the vehicle. So there's space, but I wish there was more space, because I will also like to have other figures inside. Let's say Splinter or April O'Neil, Casey Jones, but it's what they have right now. And I'm not saying that it's bad. I definitely like it, and definitely is going to be on my pre-order list. Something that came out of the left field for me. I wasn't expecting it, but definitely I'm going to get. I really like it, even though I hope that they make some changes and adjustments, perhaps extend it a little more, because when you look at some of the, you can see that it's really small. But yeah, it will fit at least the 4 basic characters, and you can make displays. You can do whatever you want. You don't want to have everything inside. You want to have it open. You want to be able to see the characters, and to me, that's pretty much the thing. And but if you want to see my video, what I really share this, you're more than welcome to do so. Definitely, I I got the opportunity to talk about it, and that was good. Hey, Late Night Trip, how you doing? How you doing, man? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, everyone that is tuning in. So I hope you're having a fantastic Friday night. Ready to party, ready to do whatever you do on the weekend. Definitely, we have some stuff going on here in the house that we got to do. Some stuff that needs to be done here in the house. So we'll see. It's gonna be a busy weekend for us. But yeah, just I want to say, definitely, I think with the NECA, definitely I like what the NECA is doing with this. I think it's a great starting point. And another thing that I love about this is the Tony Cipriano, and I mentioned that in the video. Tony Cipriano, the phenomenal Tony Cipriano, he is the one that sculpted this piece digitally. And Tony Cipriano is an artist that, if you know him from history, he was a traditional sculptor for many years. He did a lot of stuff for a lot of companies, Dark Horse Comics, Dark Horse Direct, DC Direct. He did stuff for Sideshow Collectibles, for many other companies out there, and also a lot of private commissions, a lot of amazing art. And, he's one of the, what I love about Cipriano is because was one of the big figures in the clay movement or in the traditional sculpting that make the jump into digital. And it's been a big supporter of making the transition. It's always been, for some people that are not as familiar, perhaps you're new in this hobby, there was a time where the sculptors, they were not, particularly traditional sculptors, which were many, they were sculpting the people that were doing digital sculpting. But big figures started moving into the digital sculpting realm and seeing the potential, because it's what is used for most companies. And they make the jump, and they really say, you know what, we need to change with the times. We need to go from traditional to do this. I love traditional. I think traditional is amazing. Traditional sculptors are amazing. I think, because there was a movement where there was a lot of digital sculpting, but a lot of these digital sculptors didn't have any type of experience in the traditional sculpting, all the digital stuff. So there is some things that you learn traditionally when you go to school, and you learn and you practice and you do a lot of things that you do with clay that you can translate when you come into digital, which is there's no gravity, there's no laws of physics. Then sometimes you do things that are not necessarily appropriate, and they came with all that knowledge. And now when they have that knowledge in drawing and art, all that, they can apply all that knowledge and the basics that are important into what they're doing. And I'm happy that Tony Cipriano, he's happy. He was happy. He's been doing some stuff for some of the nice figures for this line. He's been doing it, and it's amazing. But also, when I'm thinking about that, and I'm expanding in some of the things here, you also have to think about, for example, other artists like, in this case, Tim Miller, that a phenomenal artist with Sideshow Collectibles. That he was doing stuff there, also with DC Direct, with so many companies. He's now working for Super 7. He's doing his sculpts for Super 7. So you see this movement. Joe Mann has done a lot of the digital sculpting. He works for like DC Direct, for Gentle Giant. He does things for them. So it's this great artist. My in this case, the person that I always admire and always respect in this place. What is that? Eric Sosa. He has been doing stuff on the digitally. He also jumped from traditional to digital. So you see so many people that have been done this. Claiborne Moore, he's the art director of, in this case, the Diamond Select Toys. So there's so many that you can count, people that have make the jump, and it's just the way it is. And they bring in the ability, and they bring in the knowledge into this industry, and they expanded also the toy industry, which in my opinion, that's the way to go. But I want to say to all of you, thank you for tuning in. Now let's move on, and I want to move on in this case to Queen Studios, because Queen Studios, as we know, it's doing an important event, and I'm gonna come here really to Facebook, because I think that's the place where, to be honest with you, you're gonna find a lot of the stuff that they're announcing here. So we're gonna come there, and I want to come to, and I'm just typing this stuff here so we can get there. All right, we are here at Queen Studios. So let me make the transition now for you. Here we are on Facebook. Okay, we're using Facebook for this reference. So this Queen Studios Collectibles, as you know, as I mentioned earlier, they're gonna have 8 p.m. their time, 20 hour, which is 8 p.m. This is gonna be, it's 12-hour difference from us where I'm at. So that means that it's going to be at 8 a.m. on Sunday. They're gonna have the launch, the 2022 product launch video on their YouTube. So I'm also gonna be live here, so if you want to come, I know the other people probably gonna do the same thing in YouTube, but if you choose wherever you want to go. But if you want to come, by all means, be my guest. I would love to see you there. Definitely, I would love to see you there. But yeah, we're gonna be you come and hang out with me. So we're gonna be watching the video. We're gonna making sure that, and I'm just double checking here with my stuff here. Yeah, trying to make sure that everything is working fine here. Okay, good. So just come and we're gonna just hang out for an hour, just trying to look at the stuff in live and respond to it or react to it live. So definitely I'll be ready if you're ready, and we'll do it. But definitely looking forward. I think Queen Studios has a lot of potential. I've said it before. I think Queen Studios has the potential to do amazing things this year, and I have no doubt about it. This company is hungry, and the stuff they're doing is amazing. Collectors are happy. As you can see, many collectors are showcasing the stuff that they're getting into. And to me, that's at the end of the day, any hobby is about having fun. And I feel that that's the reason why we come to this hobby. We come to enjoy that. Another thing, look at this head sculpt. This is something that they were showcasing. Amazing head sculpt of Robert Pattinson. This is just the kind of the rough sketches, but look at the likeness. Love the likeness on the figure. Looks amazing. This likeness looks really, really good. Better than the statue. And this is just for the figure. I'm telling you, the figure is going to look better. So this is the part. So this company is doing such amazing things. So now I'm going to take you to InArt, which is their... let's see if we can get there. To the part where they're doing the InArt group. This is the stuff. I don't think... Yeah, this is the group. It's a private group for collectors. And this is the stuff that we're showcasing here. And this is one thing that to me, it's good news. They have the Lord of the Rings Gandalf 1/6 collectible figure. I do like the Osmos figure. I think it's an amazing looking figure. But can this be better than that one? We'll know for sure. So I'm sure that they will have some type of... On Sunday, we'll probably see a video of that. So I'm really crossing my fingers how good it's going to be. Hopefully it's not super crazy expensive, but now, of course, now you're going to have 2 Gandalfs. So that's good. That's good news for the fans of Lord of the Rings. And this is something that definitely come on Sunday so we can look at it. Probably we get a big reveal on that one. There was another thing here that I want to showcase that to me was good. This is now the other portrait. Now painted. It looks really, really good. Look at that portrait. In my opinion, it looks better than their statue. Definitely, it's a nice looking portrait. Even the hair, the sculpted hair is really well done. And I don't know if they're gonna come up with like a rooted hair thing. Probably they do a special rooted hair. To be honest with you, as much as I like the concept of rooted hair, at the same time it requires maintenance, and I don't think everybody's prepared for the maintenance. I'm not. So I think the sculpted looks really, really good. And to be honest, it looks really fantastic. So this Batman is going to definitely kill it, in my opinion, at least this head sculpt. We'll see how they do with the rest. This is the part where I'm telling you, they are really killing it. Now, there was some controversy here. And this is something that it always happens, unfortunately. Wherever you go, you're always going to find that controversy, which is sad. And that was happening in this group. A lot of people were being critical. And I'm going to cover the names because I don't want to, blast anybody here. It says, InArt, we finally need some explanation on the rooted Joker pre-order fiasco. It's shady. You need to say something. Which to me, that's really dumb because they are blaming, some people were saying this, they were blaming in this Queen Studios on InArt for some other companies, other stores reselling the pre-orders or selling stuff that they already ordered on their stores, which is, if you're such a collector, that it happens, like you can still go to, even there's a window of time, certain things, Spec Fiction still carries it afterwards because they purchase a good number of them so they can resell, sell something or whatever. So they do something, there's always a deal that they probably buy for a certain amount because they buy in bulk, who knows? But they were angry with the company for doing this. And you have to remember this. Other companies can sell whatever. I think they were selling only the single version. The deluxe version is the one that was sold directly through InArt or through Queen Studios. And of course, it creates controversy. I will tell you this. At the end of the day, companies have a window of time. They sell you something and other stores may purchase and they might resell. And you're welcome to go to these other companies and sell. But it's not the fault. You know, this is nothing new. You can go anywhere. You know, that's something that happens in every industry. Like Sumeor, you go to Sumeor, you buy something in a matter of hours, it's sold out, sometimes an hour, but you can still go to other resellers to buy it. You know, does that mean that Sumeor is at fault? I don't think so. They have a window of time to sell the numbers that they allocated for themselves. And other than that, if people buy and then resell somewhere else, that's just the way it is. You have the right to go anywhere you want to go. Nobody's stopping you to go wherever you need to go. But to try to say that the company is at fault because the resellers are doing business as usual, then to me, that's just short-sighted. That shows that you definitely don't have a grasp or the concept or on the way business goes, this type of business in the collectible industry. It's just the way it is, you know. And to be honest with you, I sometimes prefer to go to resellers. You know why? Because, you know, we're coming to a place in time where we don't have to be on that small window of time. Like back in the day, I remember when I started collecting statues, all we had was a small window of time. That's all it was. Small window of time, you know, with Sideshow. You go to Sideshow, you only have a window of time in stuff sold, you know, it was sold out right away for the exclusive. Then you got the regular version. Now, Sideshow doesn't do that anymore because they create these big numbers and, you know, gives people time, you know, time to decide, particularly in an industry that is so convoluted sometimes. There's so many collectibles here and there. All it causes is like a little bit of stress. So, you know what? Sometimes I'd rather have time to, you know, to think, you know, time to really say, you know what, this is not for me. You know, like I can pre-order from this and then, and maybe you pay a little extra from different places. And I'm telling you, I prefer sometimes to go, instead of buying directly from, let's say, XM Studios or even Prime, you know, XM Studios in this case, you can end up going to, you know, to Spec Fiction, which in my opinion offers a better deal, and shipping is even better. It's you know, you pay a lot less, and there's other things that you can buy from Asia that, you know, Spec Fiction gets better deals. You know, they're able to transport the stuff and better get you a better rate. So to me, that's important. You know, like, okay, whatever. You know, some people will not be happy with the answer, but ultimately I feel that I'm not blaming Queen Studios for this. I'm not saying this is a fiasco. They didn't lie to you. They sold something on a window of time. That was the deluxe version, 2 different figures together. Whatever happened in the aftermath, and believe me, if this does well, probably you're gonna see reissues. Hot Toys does reissues all the time. So I don't see the big deal. I don't see why people are just freaking out, you know, acting like, you know, like Queen Studios, you know, kind of took the math out of your feet, you know, and now you're just out of air, you know, kind of in mid water. I don't think that's the case, but yeah, you know, everybody looks at things in a different way. But hey, guys, and I want to say to all of you, again, welcome and thank you very much for your support. I want to move on. You know, let's move on now. Let's get out of that the hot waters of criticism or people saying that I'm just defending a company, because I have that before, saying that I'm just not getting it and whatever. You know, people can say whatever. But let's move to Hot Toys. I want to move to Hot Toys because I think Hot Toys definitely deserves attention this time around, because they are releasing in my opinion, a great looking Moon Knight figure. Now, Moon Knight right now is in the conversation. Everybody wants to talk about Moon Knight, of course, because of the show. People are excited for it. Again, I haven't watched the show. I haven't watched the episodes, the 2 episodes that we have so far. But I'll try it this weekend. If I get the chance, I'll try. If not, you know, I'll wait a little bit. I will tell you, I've never been like a huge fan of Moon Knight. I like the character. I think it's a cool character, but it's not my top tier character for me. But there's so much that you can do, because it's a combination. When you look at Moon Knight, it's technically a combination of Batman and the Spirit together, you know, and it creates this character that it has a lot of, you know, has some history and definitely a lot of changes. And this figure to me is very nice. It's $285, which I would say is a standard for what Hot Toys is doing. It's going to release according to this. And of course, it's always subject to change. And for Hot Toys, it can take longer than that, between July and December. So it's a big window of 6 months of next year. So in my opinion, be prepared to be ready till 2024. That's how Hot Toys works. You know, that's how they roll. But here you see this figure. I like it. I do like it. Another great thing about this figure, it does have the LED lights in the eyes. The eyes light up. That, in my opinion, is very, very cool. Super cool. And I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe it's a connection they're going to have. I don't know if they're going to have batteries there or some part in the body. Who knows? But it's going to have some type of batteries just to work. but it's really, really cool. Another great thing they did, all this, the bandages around his body, all of that, this sculpted. The torso sculpted, which is nice. And something that I see also with the, what was that, the other figures that I've seen recently, that they're doing more like it's sculpted, you know, instead of just having the cloth, you know, the cloth, the fabric around the body, which in some ways kind of deteriorates over time. They go with a more hard plastic, and I like it. I think it's cool that way. And the only thing, of course, is the cape will be, and this part here, of course, around his torso, all of that will be, of course, fabric. I like the figure. I think with the LED lights, it's gonna be cool. And I know many people are excited for it. Of course, every time a show comes out, people get excited and they want to have the ultimate thing for that show. People are praising. I've seen some of my friends praising this as the best show ever. In my opinion, this is until the next show comes along. When the next show comes along, then people are gonna say the same thing. It always happens. But the figure looks really, really cool. And looking at it, of course, he has the blades right there, crescent blades. That's really nice. So it has mobility, which is cool. I would love for this to have an interchangeable portrait, the one that you can see the actor. That would have been nice. But, you know, probably they're going to do that in the future. That's something that, if you know Hot Toys, you know that they do this. They do this. They release a version. They release a premium version or some different version, or a battle damage version later on. Things like that. It's just the way they do business. So this is the start, which is not bad in my opinion. It looks cool. I think they did a good job, and I love the pictures here. I love the detail on those LED lights. I'm hoping that they do the same thing for, I would say, Batman. I would love to see Batman with LED lights. That would be awesome. You know, that's a character that definitely deserves the LED lights. And hopefully this also allows it for them to do other characters, like even Spider-Man with LED lights, because you want to see those eyes shining. You know, I think that enhances the display as well. It gives more presence to some of these characters, as you remember from the comics. You know, it's not like they have the lights, but one thing I remember, you know, when I read in comics as a kid, is that to me, it's like you see in the pages of Batman, you see Batman in the dark. You see this shadow figure, and then you see those bright eyes in the middle of the dark. That is super cool. So hopefully they do the same thing for other characters. But I think that is a great idea, and it's a very clever idea, and it looks good. Definitely makes this Moon Knight even better looking. You know, that just simply plain white eyes, painted white eyes. I think that it's a much better deal. So yeah, I like this figure. I don't know what you think about it. I know you're a fan of Hot Toys, but definitely looks good. Definitely all this is sculpted, which is kind of cool. So yeah, guys, I'm telling you, this is one of those things where you feel like, hey, Batman, well, God bless Spec, though my wallet thinks differently. Yeah, I'm telling you. Sorry, I came back to this screen. I'm at the wrong screen now. All right, there, right there. God bless Spec, though my wallet. I tell you, I love Spec Fiction. I love Spec Fiction because they do offer a lot of great things. And they have a lot of variety, and there's a lot of different companies that you normally, Sideshow doesn't carry, of course. They don't want to carry them, but you can go there. And with the XM stuff, you know, also some other companies in Asia. So to me, you know, Spec Fiction is a really good place to go. And it's a great company that definitely is doing good for the, you know, for the fans, you know, which in my opinion, that is good. I'm looking at my live chat here. Well, I have to kind of refresh it on this screen, but yeah, it's just you know, Spec Fiction definitely is it's a great choice. You know, like there's so many choices now. You know, Sideshow does choices, but one thing I don't like about Sideshow is like the shipping prices can be outrageous with Sideshow. Even when they carry stuff from like Prime1 Studio, it can be like super high. You know, like Sideshow has always been high with the shipping costs. I can go anywhere else and get it for cheaper. Matter of fact, sometimes I even go to eBay to buy from different store retailers because they sell some of the stuff that is sold at Sideshow cheaper. Like there's a Sideshow that is coming that I could go to Sideshow, but it was cheaper at eBay with free shipping. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. So I took it. So that is the case, and it's coming. You know, Sideshow has some things, but I have, you know, depending on what I like to, when I go to eBay, I buy stuff from eBay from different stores like collectible stores or comic book shops. Normally, what I do that I try to look at the reputation. You know, I have done business with some of the stores before, so to me, you know, I go there. You know, I like that. You know, some stores have been doing business on eBay, particularly comic book shops. for a long time. And sometimes they can also sell you stuff like from different companies like Kotobukiya or Diamond Select Toys, or This Is Direct, things like that. They can sell you for a much better price. Even Sideshow stuff if you're going for the regular version. So sometimes it pays off. You know, I'm not saying that always, but you know, sometimes once in a while I go there, compare the prices, because when Sideshow gets some of the stuff, it's just too expensive. And I think Spec Fiction offers a much better choice too if you're looking for some of the more exclusive stuff that is coming from Asia. So that's pretty much it. So let's move on and talking now about Kotobukiya. Now that we're in this subject here, do you realize Spec no longer carry this is something that I noticed, which it's more recently. I don't know why. I don't know what they're doing. And maybe there's a fallout. Maybe it's just too expensive for them to carry. Who knows? That's something that hasn't been mentioned. I think it has to do in part because perhaps licenses. Who knows? Because the thing is this, some of that stuff, of course, end up at Sideshow. I don't know. Maybe it's just the pricing. Definitely it's costly, you know, and maybe it was too costly for them, you know, and they do offer a much better rate on the shipping cost. So they decide not to do it. Who knows? You know, sometimes it happens. They end up a relationship and they come back. The same happened with Sideshow. They were selling at the beginning. Well, sometimes they were selling a lot of Prime1 Studio stuff. Then all the stuff disappeared for a little bit, for a couple months, because I don't know, nobody really knew. And then all of a sudden everything came back. Now they're doing business again. So sometimes it happens, you know, business. You know, it doesn't pay for them to sell something, so they stop selling it because they're not making enough money out of it. And then, of course, they go back and something happens and they go back and they start redoing it again. Who knows? You know, it's something that it's hard to tell, but they're not doing it. But I will say, you know, like, even though that's happening, I think Spec Fiction still can survive because they're selling XM. They're selling other companies that definitely people are interested on, and Queen Studios, all of that. So to be honest, I don't think they're gonna hurt. But yeah, it was an option that unfortunately now the only option for us here in North America, of course, is if we buy directly from Prime1 Studio, which is costly, or you can go through Sideshow. So there's the only two options that we have for the time being. Perhaps other stores, I'm not so sure if Big Bad Toy Store has been doing some Prime1 Studio. I think they have in the past. I think I look into some of the stuff there, but who knows? You know, I cannot really say much on that. So now I'm gonna move on. I want to move on, and I'm here at Sideshow, so I want to move on to Kotobukiya, because Kotobukiya as a company, as you know, I started this channel promoting a lot of Kotobukiya stuff. That was just a lot of the fine art statue stuff. That was some of my first stuff that I did here, and I am such a big fan of the fine art statue line. But Kotobukiya does other things, you know, and I will tell you, and I have collected other things from Kotobukiya. You know, it's not that I only collect one thing, you know, like to me, if you know me well, if you have followed the channel, you know that I'm a fan of so many things. I'm not just a person that just follows one thing or just collects one thing. And I have recommended in the past to many of you, you know, first of all, collect what you love. That's the most important thing. You know, have a plan, have a concise theme, something that you can work on. That's been my advice always. But that doesn't mean that I follow it through. I do love a lot of things. But at the same time, I try to have an idea of what I'm building. You know, like even though I have different things, I try to build within the same group and then this and that, because it's just the way I am. You know, I'm just a geek 100%. You know, I love so many things. And you know, I will tell you, Kotobukiya is a company that has always been enticing to me because they do always have so many different things. And I love their PVC stuff. I've always been a big fan of their PVC stuff. I know a lot of people consider PVC a bad thing. A lot of collectors that have no experience with PVC. You know, there's a couple things that you have to consider with PVC. But I will tell you, at the top of the line with PVC stuff, or the stuff in this type of figures and scales, Kotobukiya has been in business for a long time, and they do amazing stuff. As you can see, there's some stuff here that, to be honest, I'm not necessarily like a big fan of, because I'm not necessarily a fan of all the anime, all the gaming franchises. Like this guy here, Tengen Uzui Demon Slayer. Although I'm familiar with the you know, in this case, the anime. So this is a guy here, as you can see. You know, it's a figure. You know what? I think that there's always space in statue collecting for all different franchises. And yes, not everyone loves this. If you're a hardcore Marvel fan, it's all you know, you're not gonna love this. But you know, to me, every collector out there, every person has you know, I will tell you this: every person in the world has a potential to become a collector. Not everyone is a collector, but everyone has the potential to be a collector of anything, because everyone is a fan of something. Everyone is a fan of something. We all have our things that we love, whether it's nostalgia, whether it's a show that we just fall in love with, even as an adult. You know, we love things, and I think the potential is there. So I think in the fandom world, there's so many things that we can all appreciate. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, we can appreciate that. So to me, it's one of those things that I really enjoy about looking at everything. That's the reason why you see in my channel, I talk about so many things. I don't concentrate on one character. I concentrate in so many different franchises. Why? Because to me, it's an amazing thing to see all these franchises grow, expand, and for people to fall in love with them. To me, in some ways, I'm a fan of fandom. You know, and here you can see Ochako. This is from My Hero Academia. This is the version 2. This is already a version 1. I like this version a bit more. But when I'm telling you this about Kotobukiya, the PVC stuff that they produce is top notch. It has weight, it has some heft, it has some quality. It's not cheaply made. It's never cheaply made. To be honest, I think these are nice figures. If you're really a fan of My Hero Academia, which is, in my opinion, is a fun franchise, it's a fun anime, it's a fun series, I think that you're really gonna love it. Now, one thing I will concentrate on, and that I feel that there's some disparities also in the pricing. Like for example, these figures, I remember when they were like $50, $60 when a lot of these small figures start coming out, but now there's $160. So this is one thing that makes you think about what are you collecting. Definitely, it's not on the cheap side. For example, this ma'am right here, this is the deluxe version. There's 2 different versions. This is for Dragon Quest. You're a fan of that franchise. The deluxe version is $180. The collector's edition, which is the regular version without the extra figure, like this guy right here, is $165. So you pay $15 for an extra figure. Looks good. Really love the detail here. And again, I'm telling you, Kotobukiya, when it comes about these small figures, they do amazing work. It's not cheaply. When you see this ArtFX, the ArtFX Plus or the ArtFX J, when you look at these figures, you can see they have quality. They have some weight, some heft, and you can feel the quality on the PVC. Very different than any vinyl toy that you may find that is cheap. Because sometimes people try to say, well, this is PVC, should be cheaper at this price range, or people have this idea of PVC a very cheap material, which is not. The production is not as cheap. But I love the detail, and I'm telling you, every time you see this is the great thing about PVC, is that for the most part, what you see on these prototypes is what you're going to see on the final product. You know, not always. Sometimes some quality control issues, but for the most part, that's what you see. And to me, that is the beauty of PVC. In this case, at Kotobukiya, at the top of it as a company. So this is a nice figure for sure. Look at the paint. Look, everything is clear. You know, the paint job, there's not much. There's some shading, but not too much shading. At the same time, you know, it represents the character here. So that, to me, that is super cool. That's for the collectors, and this is, of course, for the deluxe version. And this little guy right there, as you can see, that's the extra one. He looks mean, ready for battle. So you're a fan of that? I'm telling you, you should like this. And another thing here, you can see, let me show you another thing. All these figures, you can see, they have this Mandalorian Grogu 110 scale, $120 for this one. I'm telling you, it seems fine. I do have the Hot Toys. I'm still working on the review. I haven't finished it. I have to review the Hot Toys. I love the Hot Toys. I think that's what I prefer. But if you want the statue, and the small statues are 110, of course you have the Iron Studios, which in my opinion is better. I prefer Iron Studios quality on that. But this is another option. I don't like this little part of plastic just to pretty much to hold it there, but it's removable. That's a good thing. So, you know, as an ArtFX, it's a good choice if you're an ArtFX fan. Now, the detail on Grogu is not as good, in my opinion. And he has this little base right there that comes with, that this ArtFX Plus have. Here you can see that's removable if you don't want to see that. So that's cool. You know, it's cool. That's an option there. So that's $120. Again, the prices have gone up. You know, remember what you can pay this for $50 or less. But now it's just not the way it is. And this is another one that I want to show you. There's other figures. I've talked about, of course, Cable before, but I want to talk about the Ronin. This show, I didn't get the chance to review it here on the channel. I love this show, the Star Wars Visions. Amazing show, in my opinion. Amazing. You know, I loved it. You know, and definitely, you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. This is another one. This is an ArtFX. 1.7. Normally ArtFX used to be 1.6. Now it's going into the 1.7. But I love the detail here. Really, really cool. Too bad it doesn't have a light-up feature because it's something that they have done. I don't think it has a light-up feature. Something that some older artifacts did, like the Iron Man back in the day, and I reviewed some. I reviewed one back in the day when I started, and it had the light-up features, which were really, really cool and really cool. You know, I like the concept. Definitely is good. This is one piece that definitely is gonna look nice. It can work good as a standalone piece because technically I don't know if they're gonna bring more of this collection of these visions because there were different, of course, there was different animation happening there. So we'll see. You never know. But moving on, let me read some of the comments here. I started with Koto. I'm deep in their Star Wars 110 line. Yeah. Then definitely that is an option here at Mandalorian for you. I'm picking up their Bad Batch line too. Yeah, the Bad Batch line is a very interesting line. I really like the show. It was definitely some people criticize the show, but I do like it. And I would say that I don't know if they're gonna produce some other things. I like the bus that they are doing, but not necessarily some of the bus that they produce that in this case Diamond Select Toys is producing. I kind of like the mini bus. The 1.7 mini bus, that looks cool. But yeah, I seen some of the Bad Batch, some of the figures. I seen some of them that are already selling on Sideshow, like the Ahsoka figure. They're all pretty good. The ArtFX is I would say it's a pretty affordable to a certain extent now because everything is going up, and it's very nice. They're not too big. They don't occupy too much space, and definitely there's another option for 110 collectors. And I will say, yeah, like you were saying, the Iron Studios Mando is much better. I think Iron Studios on the 110. If you want more premium stuff, you know, with the Polystone, then definitely you go for Iron Studios. But it's good to have the option of the 110 that Kotobukiya does because, you know, I'm telling you, I love the Kotobukiya stuff. I love that Kotobukiya this quality, and you can, even as a 1/6 scale pieces, you can match with other pieces. So that to me is a great, great option. But then again, guys, I want to say to all of you, thank you very much for taking time being here today with me. I totally appreciate it. I know that sometimes it's not as simple, but it is Friday, so that's the reason I chose to do this on Fridays, because to me it's like, you know, I love Fridays. You know, Fridays I love, and not the type of person that I like. I gotta be honest with you, I'm such a geek. My perfect Friday night is to stay home, watch movies, or play video games. That is my perfect night, or watching, you know, YouTube, something like that. I like to socialize, but I'm not the type of person that look for going out with people, like going to a restaurant, because Friday tonight is always busy. You know, like there's so many people out there. I like to go with my wife to go places, maybe on a Saturday night. You know, maybe not. I like to go to a restaurant that they're not packed with people. I just don't like it. I don't like, you know, I like crowds. You know, I'm a city boy, so I'm having no problem with crowds, but it doesn't mean that I'm looking to be with the crowd. So. But I enjoy sometimes going places, you know, and just relaxing a little bit away from all the music, loud music, and restaurants, and the bars always open. You know, the sports people watch sports. To me, it's too loud. You know, I'd rather stay home, play video games, eat pizza, whatever. You know, that's just the way I am. But you know, and the family, I think things change. Of course, as you're getting older, things change. Because when I was young, I had no problem going out. But you know, as you get older, your preferences change. You change. Hey, Pudgy, I talked with you on the boards for years, back in the day on Statue Marvels. Glad to catch you live stream. Hey, how you doing, Pudgy? Thank you very much for tuning in. Yes, you know, to be honest with you, I should spend more time on the boards, but sometimes I go, sometimes I don't. I think, you know, now everything has moved from the boards to Facebook groups, and it's a different world. But to be honest with you, and I've always said this, what I like about the board, Statue Marvels, which Statue Marvels was... you know, I miss Statue Marvels, you know, and definitely if you were into the Bowen stuff, that was it until they closed that. Statue Marvels now, there was something going on, you know, with the owners or whatever, you know, family stuff. Ultimately, he didn't have access to they have to close the thing. But then he went to a Facebook group. But it's not the same, you know, unfortunately. I love Statue Marvels. It was a fantastic place. Oh, Dark Knight, New York City. Yay. Dark Knight, I remember you. We talk a lot, you know. Yes, I remember you. You were one of the cool guys there. Yes, I do remember. Now it's good to see you here. You know, we changed names. I haven't changed my name, but I know people, depending on the different forums, you change your name sometimes. Hey, I'm right with you, bro. Friday night for me is for watching some animation, YouTube, chat in the man cave with a beer in hand. Yeah, that's what it is to me. Like, I love Fridays because it's just to relax, just to cool, kick back, just have some fun. I love, you watch anime. I love anime too. I love anime. My wife sometimes look at me crazy because I love anime. But I've been watching anime since I was a kid. I love classic cartoons. I like movies. I like anime. I have like a guilty pleasure. And there's so many shows that I still need to watch that I have on my list of them. There's so much stuff that I need to watch. It's unreal. Like I have Hulu, primarily Hulu, because I watch the anime there. I don't care for any other stuff that they do, but anime is like, that's my thing. I like to watch it. And I like to watch it by myself. I just enjoy it. I just have fun with it. Yeah, Facebook is never going to be the same as forums, unfortunately. It's just because everything happens so fast. People are just, the thing with, it's like, it's the squirrel mentality of Facebook. People are following that little nut or that carrot that is dancing in front of you. People go for that. It's the first thing that comes up when you open Facebook. The first thing that pops up is what people are gonna be talking about. So everything that happened in the past, it pretty much gets at the bottom of the feed. Nobody knows, nobody cares. Forums gives you an organized segments, everything. So if you come to a forum, everything is in front of you. You just choose wherever you want to go. You have to choose, if you want to concentrate on the new thing, you go to the top. Sometimes they highlight some of those things. For the most part, there is this Marvel section, the Star Wars section. For such a Marvels, it was, like everything is Bowen, but there's sections based on the different things. And there's already a thread, and you follow the thread and you post on that thread, and you can go back and forth. You get tired of that thread, you move to the next thread, or you do whatever. So those are the organized system that the forums still have up to this day, that to me is more enticing. Sometimes I just go there because I want to talk about movies. There's a section for movies, a section for people to share their collections, and everything is organized, and the order of the stuff that most recent post is gonna be at the top of that feed of that section. To me, that's just, it's more organized. Facebook doesn't have that. Unfortunately, it's not gonna have that. I don't think they will ever have that. They're not prepared for that. They're dangling that little carrot for the next person, and that's the only thing people are gonna concentrate on. So there's a lot of stuff that gets lost in the information. What I love about, and so this is one thing, this is maybe a secret that I can share here. Most of the time back in the day, or when I wanted to know something, or I wanted to know more about an artist or a person or a project, I will go to the forums. It's easier to search in the search system, to look for information there. So you can go back as far as you can go and look at some of the information from past years. And then you can see that on Facebook, you don't get the choice. Although there's a search system, it's so convoluted. It gives you so much stuff that it's not so well organized, and you never really find anything. So sometimes people already have people are asking the same question on Facebook over and over, and someone already give you the answer, perhaps 2 posts down. But nobody, everybody just going on the first thing that pops up, and that's what they concentrate on. Hey, catch that Gemini. I love these names here. Forum makes a good resource for reference. Facebook makes it hard to find anything no current. That's right. That is the part where, to be honest with you, I'm not necessarily a fan of Facebook. And I do participate in Facebook because you get some the new news, everything that is new is there, and people share some stuff. But as a point of reference, as a place to you get reference or even detailed information, it's unless it's just from the companies. But when it comes about all these groups where people are talking back and forth, it's a lot of hearsay there and there. There's not much information that is as valuable to me. So sometimes I prefer to go, if I want to hear now from the sculptors and the artists, I go to their Instagram. I think that's where you're going to find more of the information. They share some stuff on Facebook, but their Instagram is becoming a place where they share most of the information that you really want to know. So that's it, and even some of that on Twitter, although Twitter is not as much, but some people like to use Twitter. So now let's move on. Now that all people are gathering here, thank you very much for all of you that are taking time to come and chat with me. So I want to move, because the night is young and we have a lot of stuff going on here that I want to talk about. So I'm here. I want to talk about DC Direct. Yes, we know DC Direct die out. Let me go back to this here. But right here, this is direct. This is direct die out, but McFarlane Toys took over. And I like that. You know, I talk about, I think it was last year when they took over, or the plans to take over. But not much has been realized. Of course, you know, Todd has been releasing a lot of these figures, which in my opinion, some of them are great, some of them are hit and misses, you know, but he's been killing it with the figures. And people love the collection and they collect in that collection. But as a statue collector, of course, I want to see the statues. Well, you know, wait no more. Now they're releasing some stuff. Not much stuff was released, but some of the stuff that they showcased on their light toy fair, on the last toy fair that they did, and ultimately it's been like 2 years since then, and it hasn't seen the light of day. Well, it's coming back on pre-order. Some stuff that was canceled, it's coming back, and in my opinion, it is great news. Like, for example, and the prices are fair. This week, Todd was pretty much promoting this on his Instagram and on Facebook. So you see this line, as you can see, this Harley, which is cool in my opinion. Here, the classic DC Direct Box. A lot of these products were already on their way before the cancellation, before they chopped the company. So in so many ways, he's not redoing some things for them. He's just selling the stuff, or the stuff that was already ready to go. It needed just the green light. So he's doing that. So I'm so glad that they're doing this. And even the box that says there is a directonline.com. So he's using the same images. So this is of the red, black and red, or something like that, the Harley Quinn collection that is in some ways kind of, it exemplifies, or not exemplifies, it's kind of follows the same trend of the black and white Batman collection, which has always been successful. This is a collection that were already building and they was gaining momentum. So now they continue on. And I think this is based on the art of Campbell, you know, J. Scott Campbell. Although I would say that the likeness always kind of, for some reason they never hit it 100% with the likeness. But it's not bad. I'm not saying that it's bad. I think in the face, yes, maybe the body needs a bit more to be more curvaceous, but it's there. So that is one. This one doesn't have the prices here. If I'm not mistaken, I don't see a price. It says the release is a 110 piece. It's going to be limited to 5,000 pieces. It's going to be available on Amazon, GameStop, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, McFarlane Toy Store as well. So it's going to be available in different places, which is going to be readily available in my opinion, which is good. So that's good. But I think one that people are really excited for is this one. Of course, the Catwoman, but based on the art of Art Jim Lau. This was one people were hoping for this, the designer series, and unfortunately was cut while it was on pre-order. So now it's on pre-order again in some places, I think. And to be honest, I love this statue. I think it's a really nice depiction of Catwoman. Definitely, you can see that. It's a really nice... And I love the designer series. I think it's a phenomenal series that I was already starting to kind of fall in love with. And I think the potential with some of these characters is there. So I'm glad that this is one that is not going to, that in the end is going to see the light of day. That people are going to be able to get their hands on this piece. You know, another great thing I would say about that I love about DC Direct was how affordable it was. You know, as the products. You know, and that's another thing. That even though everything is just super expensive, you know, you still need, this is the thing, there has to be a balance in the industry. A balance so everything doesn't go too high. People, because this is the thing, artists, you know, you have to keep them grounded, and companies need to be grounded. Because if not, companies are just going crazy, you know, and this is what we're seeing now that with a lot of the pieces that are coming out, and we're going to cover some of these pieces in a moment, that they're super huge. And because they're so huge, of course, ultimately that's going to be reflected in the price tag. So you need companies that can balance things out. And I think DC Direct was a company that when it was here was balancing the price point, you know, in the sense that they were selling stuff at a very affordable price, a medium-sized price. You know, they were never top of the line, but they were allowing, in this case, collectors to grab their hands, you know, to put their hands on something that was nice looking for a good price. So you need companies that can balance that, because at the same time, big companies have to rethink their strategy because they're competing also with smaller companies that they're selling more stuff than them. So they have to find the happy medium so they can also sell their products. If not, they're going to lose to the smaller company. This is the thing. This is like selling burgers. You know, like the reason why some companies have been in business, like the reason why McDonald's was in business for the longest, is because it was the cheapest burger in town. You know, that's it. Nowadays, everything is kind of up there. Even McDonald's up there. But as long as you sell a good, affordable product that everyone can, the masses can gravitate on, so that keeps some of the big burger joints or the more fancy joints to be more in check, you know, so you know the difference. So ultimately, there's room for both fields. There's room for both the price difference. There's room for the difference in price tag for the smaller, I would say the cheaper stuff, and the more fancy stuff. So that's, if we can call it that. So this is a great choice. Really excited, you know, and they release other things also on the pre-order list here. You can see, of course, they have this also part of this designer series, which is based on the art of Greg Capullo. This is the Batman, the Batman Who Laughs, and let me look at the scale on this one. This is a 1/6, so that's good, and it's available in all these places. And I like it. You know, it's, you know, if you're looking for the affordable thing, you're a 1/6 scale collector, then definitely you have a great choice here. And looks good. I saw some of the videos. So you go on Facebook on Todd McFarlane's page. He was sharing some of the videos of this stuff. Looks fine. You know, you get what you pay for. You're not paying top dollar. You're not getting the ultimate. Some people would like to have the ultimate thing, but you're getting a good representation. And it's not bad. The paint job looks good on this prototype. It's simple. It follows the same trend with the simple bases that they do, the round bases with the symbol on top. So this is really cool. Now, another one that I want to point out, and this is one that it's very, I'm happy that it's coming out. This was announced like 2-3 years ago. It was showcased at Toy Fair. And of course, you didn't see the light of day, but this battle, you know, Superman versus the Flash. And I will tell you, this prototype, when you come to look at it close, there's not necessarily the paint job on the face. It's not the greatest, but also they went with the more classic look. Although they're using, the only thing that I'm not so happy about this piece is they're using the more modern design and the paint job on the clothing. Like Superman, this is pretty much the new Superman suit without the trunks, you know. And also with Flash, they have the more modern version of Flash. I would love for them to do this as a classic, you know, representation of the classic battle from the Bronze Age. It's something that has been happening in different comics. And that would have been much better choice, in my opinion. Of course, something that I would jump to right away to it. But they decided to do with this more modern thing. Still, I think it's cool. Not necessarily crazy about this clear resin they're using here. It looks kind of, it's not, I would love for it to be more translucent. That would be a much better choice. But definitely, this is definitely what is holding the piece. So it needs to be very sturdy. So I don't know how light this is. This is going to be very fragile if this is what's holding this, because there's no peg. The only peg would be this one right here. So, you know, it's a good choice. It's something fun to look at, and I'm glad they're bringing it. So I don't know how much it's going to be. Perhaps it's going to be around $300, something like that. I think that's what they were doing with some of this diorama. So at least there's a choice, and we can be happy for that choice. So yeah, that's good. All right, now let me go back to some of the comments here. Yeah, I believe these are now 1/6 correct. Do they quote a scale? I would display with 1/6 regardless, but was wondering. You're talking about that. Some of those aren't. In this case, the DC Direct, they normally say that they're 1/6, but this is the funny thing about the designer series, that scale is all over the place with the designer series. Some of them are labeled 1/6 and ultimately they become 1/7, or they're a lot smaller than that. So it's always been kind of iffy. So I don't know why, but they're never, I think it's just a standardized thing. But the same thing, I think McFarlane does the same thing with their figures. They always say, you know, some of the figures are too big or too small, but they're all within the same standards. I don't know. Hopefully they do give you a 1/6 that is truly a 1/6, or at least, you know, if it's not 1/6, at least, you know, it's a 1/7, but it can fit with everything else that you have already collected. At least within the same line. You know, that's the thing that we need. Mikey, ain't cheap anymore, and sometimes it ain't fast either. You are right, JP. This is a classic cover from way back. Yeah, it is a really classic cover. Yeah, it's $2.99. Yeah, so I would say $2.99 based on the prices that we're getting right now. It is doable. I love that because it's a classic match, and you know it's always gonna be that match. If you grew up in the Bronze Age, definitely you're gonna love that. It's a classic, you know, that race. But I don't know. I don't know what they went with the more. I would have loved for this to be. I think people would jump on it more firmly if it was done based on the classic Bronze Age art, based on the art of Neil Adams. I think people will love to see that. So, but hey, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm at least I'm glad that it's making a comeback, and hopefully McFarlane can take this in a good direction, because DC Direct does, you know, deserves to be here. We need that. We need companies that can bring also the affordable market. They can bring stuff, because, you know, collectors come in all different shapes and sizes. Not everyone has the deep wallets. Not everyone has deep pockets. Not everyone has like a, you know, bank accounts in Switzerland or in the Cayman Islands. You know, we all have bills to pay, but we also are fans that we want to be, that we're in love with these pieces, and we want to collect some things that reminds us of our childhood, the things that we love. But, you know, sometimes, you know, there are things that you can afford to buy something and splurge on something very expensive, but sometimes you just want something that is more down to earth with the price. So I think that's what we need to do. So yeah, I want to say to all of you guys, thank you for participating. Thank you for chatting. I really love the conversation with all of you. I love that you're listening to what I have to say here. Now, let me drink something here just for my stomach. I got some coconut water. That helps me with acidity and all that, which I struggle with. But in any case, let's move on. I want to say to all of you, thank you all of you for participating. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you're having a fantastic Friday night too. But I want to cover something here. I want to go to talk about Gentle Giant LTD. Gentle Giant to me is a company that I admire very much. I've been a fan for many years. I collected on many other mini bus. I collected a lot of the stuff, all the Star Wars stuff. And Gentle Giant is always a company that I'll always paying attention to. Now, Gentle Giant has some pre-orders, and in my opinion, they look amazing. Some of the stuff they have here, you can see. I love this Cat Bane, and I think now Cat Bane has been more popular because of the Mandalorian show. In this case, the Book of Boba Fett. But looks amazing. And there's two different versions. This is the regular, and this is one that comes with in this case, the Toto 360. This is already sold out at their website, unfortunately. But it's gonna end up in, you know, some other place on eBay, all that. You can find it there. Probably I'm gonna get it because I really love this mini bus. Look at it. Looks really, really good. Love that. This is the thing. If you're a big Gentle Giant fan and you love the mini bus lines that they produce, I wish they do more of that mini bus, the Marvel mini bus stuff that they were doing. They're not doing it. They have kind of shaped some of that stuff. They have redone in the different versions, like a 1.7. They're doing some other things, but I love the classic mini bus line that they had. Now, this is really, really cool. Love the detail. Toto looks really cool. That's a nice detail. That's the reason why you need to go for this one. Too bad it's already sold out here at the website, the pre-order, but look at that. Amazing looking mini bus. $120. I still remember they were less than $100, but to be honest, I would say that this is the new price for the mini bus line. And it looks really, really good. And I'm telling you, if you have never seen the bus in person, the mini bus in person, I'm telling you, you're missing out. I love the mini bus because they fit anywhere. You can have as many as you want. And back in the day, I wasn't crazy about mini bus. I didn't even care about the Bowen mini bus back in the day. But as I gotten older, I see the appreciation of the mini bus. I've been collecting mini bus, and I'm telling you, I love them. You know, you can fit them in a lot of in a small space. You can fit as many as you can fit there, and they look really cool. And definitely, and the quality, the paint job that Gentle Giant does with this is really, really terrific. So this is a great one, $120. Too bad that it's sold out, but man, you pay attention. Look at it's gonna end up on eBay and probably even cheaper. So also they got this Mandalorian mini bus. This is the St. Patrick's Day exclusive, which I didn't know that was one. But here at that. Look at that. This is the thing. Right now, we're bombarded with Mandalorian stuff, statues, figures, mini bus. Some of the paint job is kind of rough here. Like they spray it, they prime it too soon, and then they overspray it or something on the metal. So it's just the prototype. Hopefully that doesn't happen on the final product. That's just my impression, at least from the helmet, some spots. But looks good. I like it. I'm telling you, if you're for minibus, this is a must for minibus fans of in this case the Star Wars collection. Look at that. Definitely they did some. I like this, the shading they did there. That's really cool. So that is an option if you're really feeling it. That's one that is really cool. There's other things that they have produced, like for example this one. Now we're looking at the more expensive stuff. We have the Milestone collection. Here's the Milestone, which is polystone, is resin. $300 for this one. Here you can see the Emperor, and that is really cool. Now, I would say that it looks a bit too dark, perhaps, on the paint job on the skin. That is perhaps one thing. I don't know if it's just the lighting, but it does look a bit too dark. Maybe they need to lighten this a little bit. Hopefully that ends up. I love how they did it with the base, with the stairs, and of course the window frame, all of that. That is cool, and of course the power coming through. I wish this was actually removable, but I totally see. I don't know if it's removable, but the clear resin there. But it kind of serves that purpose. This would be nice with a light up feature, to be honest. You know, that light up. Oh, it's removable. That is awesome. That is awesome. I like that because this is something that they didn't do with other pieces. I like that. So you have the two options. That is cool. That is cool. I love the base. Definitely they did a good job with this one. This is the back, which you're not going to display it like that, but it kind of gives you an idea how it looks. And that, I don't know if they're going to, this is going to be like interchangeable hands. Now look at this sculpt on that face. That is awesome. And definitely you can see that texture on his cape. That is really, really cool. So yeah, man, I'm telling you, this is a really cool piece. And look at the paint job on the nail. I like that. The fingernails, they look terrible. He needs to do a manicure, that's for sure. But that is an option. Now we have this. This is part of the Premier Collection statue. It's 175, which is, in my opinion, it's not bad at all. I think this is a 1/7 scale. That's also another resin statue. And this was sculpted by Joe Mena, if I'm not mistaken. He did a phenomenal job as usual with this piece. Love the detail. Love even the helmet of Django right there at his feet. That is a really cool detail. But man, it looks really good. I like it. 1/7. I wish it was 1/6. That would be a much better deal. But look at that. Now the eyes, I don't know if they're kind of glossy. It's just the paint job. Hopefully it don't look like that. I just kind of give it a little bit of shine up. It could be also the reflection of the light when they take in the picture. Now it does have a light up feature, which is a bummer because I think this one deserves a light up feature. And definitely looks really, really good. Love the detail. Definitely you have some texture. Mena did a phenomenal job as he always does. It really looks good. $175. I think that's an affordable price. This collection is doing really, really good. Now we have this marble, you know, we're gonna go to the marble Loki. Let's go first to the Grogu, the Mandalorian, $250. This is another milestone piece. So this is a 1/6. The milestone is the 1/6. The Premier Collection now is a 1/7. But it looks fine. I don't know. I'm not so sure about this one, to be honest with you. Now it has the interchangeable portrait with the eyes closed and open. But this is another option. And you also have the Iron Studios, which is a 110 version. So it's up to you what you want. You want to have a Grogu doing this, concentrating his power, the energy, the force. Looks cool. That's a nice concept. This is the thing, what I love about Gentle Giant is that they give you ideas. You know, they give you stuff that, and this is going to be an edition size of 1,000. So it's going to be available worldwide. US, Canada, the United Emirates, I think, Japan, South Korea, Brazil, Mexico, Russia. Well, the Russia part, I don't know now, you know, because you know what's happening in the world. They might not even get the chance in Australia. Well, it's going to be worldwide. So that is another thing. Now, the Marvel Loki animated style, which is technically based on the art of Scotty Young. That's how they started. And that now they don't call it Scotty Young. I don't know if he's still be involved with this, but they're kind of following his art, which is kind of strange. $49.99. I think that's the perfect price for this little collection. It's going to be a little guy. But this collection has been doing really terrific. And I love the paint job. And Loki, of course, based more on his appearance now, more modern appearance based on the films. But looks really, really good. Yeah, they did a good job with this one. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. You know, this is the thing. Gentle Giant, it's a company that it's doing amazing stuff, you know? Like, I love what their Gentle Giant does right there. Gentle Giant always does great buzz. That Emperor piece looks epic. Yeah, it does look epic. You know, I love that. This is the thing. Gentle Giant always does amazing work. And now the fact that they're working, of course, now that they're part of Diamond Select Toys allows them to produce more stuff that they used to produce in the past, but they were more limited, I think, because of the funding. But now they're able to release more stuff. Unfortunately, many collectors don't talk about it much because everybody's talking about the 1/3 scale pieces. Everybody's talking about Prime 1 Studio, all the fancy stuff, all the expensive stuff that no one can afford. Most collectors cannot afford. And, you know, but everyone is there. You know, everybody wants to be sitting at the cool kids table. So everybody wants to talk about that. And I talk about it too. But ultimately, companies like Gentle Giant also provide a product that is really cool, that really can enhance the collection. And it looks beautiful. And it's more on the affordable side. Got a feel for Russian collectors not being able to enjoy your passion because of your government actions. Yeah, that's the sad part. You know, at the end of the day, people in the crossfire are the ones that get affected, you know. And I do feel, I'm not gonna be honest with you, I do feel bad for the actions of the Russians. And in some ways, I feel that it's sad. At the same time, you cannot really blame, because I'm not in Russia. I've never been into Russia, so I don't know the way they act. And in so many ways, that happens in a country when a country it has believed the propaganda. You know, they have been lied to. They have been controlled for many years to believe one thing, and they have believed these ideas. An untouchable government. The government can control their lives and make the decisions for them. And because of that, they are the ones paying the price. And sometimes, you know, this is the thing. Whoever you choose to be in power becomes your master. And not saying that here in America we have it better, but at the same time, I feel that our government allows us, or the way we have set up our government allows us to have more control and more say of what we need to say. Not saying that we have total control, because we don't. The government does. But at the same time, we have at least the idea of freedom, that we can express our ideas and express our dissent when we don't agree with some things. And that's something that Russia doesn't have, and Russians have never had. So they believe this propaganda, because everything they get in every day is propaganda. You know, the government is right. They have to make the right choices because of this, and all they have is just lies. And something that, fortunately, we have is still here in America, the ability to go and get information and get the news, and to really know what's in the world and make decisions, sound decisions, something that they don't have, unfortunately. But you know, our prayers are with the Ukraine. You know, with the Ukrainians, my prayers are with them, and definitely with, you know, for Russia to wake up. You know, for Russian people, not for Russia, the government. You know, for them to really take action and take control of their lives and their government. You know, and because this is just something bigger than what we can think, and it's just the repercussions of it are just gonna go for years, way beyond our lifespan. If we're still here, you know, definitely it's gonna go way beyond. You know, what is happening right now is gonna leave a mark for years, for generations to come, unfortunately. So now let's move on from the sad thing. You know, we took a little break on that, and but yeah, it's just I want to now concentrate. Now that we're definitely kind of going in this route with Gentle Giant, I want to talk about the mother company here. I want to cover the work of Diamond Select Toys. Diamond Select Toys, you know, Diamond Select Toys has been in business for a long time. And sometimes, you know, it's always been, people have considered them kind of the cheap company. Everything they sell is cheap. But not everything they sell is cheap. You know, and not everything they sell is bad. You know, there's a couple of things. And this is something that came to the know now. This Galvatron, if you're a Transformers fan, definitely this is something to pay attention to. Although, I gotta be honest with you, that price scares me from Diamond Select Toys. $500. That is a lot of money. A lot of dough for this piece. And it's not that big. They call it a 1/6 scale, but this is wrong. It is not 1/6. It's within the height of a 1/6. So technically it's gonna be on the same. But if it was 1/6, it would be as tall as me. That's what it is. So it is wrong. It's not 1/6. But it's within the same height of a regular 1/6. So it's going to be within 12, 13, 14 inches tall. So that's what it is. Here, so I think the price is really high for this piece at this price. I will prefer this to be, I think, $350. That would be the perfect price. I think they went too crazy, and maybe they're trying to see how it's going to do. However, putting that aside, I don't know who sculpted this. It doesn't say. I love the detail on this piece. I love the sculpt here. It is really, really good. Galvatron looks amazing here. And the base is good. The sculpt, the paint job, it may have some flaws here and there, which I'm not too crazy about. But beyond that, the paces looks nice. However, like I mentioned, I don't think it's worth $500. Although I do like the sculpt and I do like what they're doing here. And hopefully this grows and becomes, you know, they bring all the characters. That would be amazing. I think this is a great start with Galvatron. but and it looks really good. But it doesn't have change out hands. You know, there's nothing. There's no switch out anything, and I don't see why they justify that. Well, actually, it does. You know, it has the right there. It has the change out hand, which is good. But that's about it. You know, I don't see maybe the portrait. That's about it. You know, nothing else changes. And here you can see the dimension. This is a ruler, so you have 12 inches. That will be the top. So technically it's another 1.5 inches more, so it's 13.5. So it is a standard, like around like the same as you see with a 1.6, you know, but $500, as much as I like what they're doing here, and yes, definitely they, you know, it has some of that, you know, some of the good things there, like the matrix of power, interchangeable hand, all of that, but $500, that's just too much. I think they went too crazy with that. They should have just put it at $350 and call it a day. I think that's it. But, you know, make no mistake, it is a beautiful representation of this character. And this is something that, you know, people need to also look, you know, like if people are spending $3,000 for something, you know, like, you know, they like, you know, this is another thing that you can look up. Now, there's another one that I'm going to point out, and this is where we can see the reflection of the prices. This is the Goliath mini bus. This is a 1.7, and this is kind of on the same vein as they were doing with the Batman stuff, the animated stuff, and they'll do it also with some animated stuff that Diamond Select does. So this is $120, and I got to be honest with you, I don't think it deserves to be $120. It's not, it doesn't have the same level of detail as the Gentle Giant stuff with the Star Wars stuff. That those are 1.6. This is 1.7, and those are 120, and they have a lot of detail. So I don't think this deserves to be $120. Yes, it's Goliath, it's gonna sell, and it does have the animated look. So there's not really much shading besides some shading in some parts of the muscles, but it's not a complicated piece. So this is the part where I will say, Diamond Select Toys, you need to rethink the strategy here. This should be less. Because with the animated stuff that you were doing for Batman, those things were like $50, $60. So now you doubled the price. So that's one thing that I'm not necessarily a fan of. But I want to show you all the other stuff that they recently announced. I want to show you this, which to me is important. The Immortal Hulk Deluxe Gallery Diorama. Now, I love this sculpt here. Not crazy about the price, because this is a Deluxe Gallery Diorama. That means this is PVC. But if you compare, this is what I was, this is more than PVC, this is vinyl. And this is a comparison that I was saying earlier when I was talking about Kotobukiya. Kotobukiya, it's a company that does amazing PVC with heft and all that. Now, when you compare it to Diamond Select Toys, their PVC is not as hefty unless they put something in this one. But it's not as heavy, or when you compare them side by side, they don't have the same quantity. The PVC doesn't feel as premium as the Kotobukiya. It feels cheaper. And I love the sculpt. I don't know who sculpted this, but when I saw this, I was impressed. The first thing when I saw it, I thought it was a poly resin piece, and I was like, yeah, I need to add this if it's a 1.6. Just came to find out that it's just on their, pretty much on the PVC line, which is a 1.7. So that is a bummer. However, I'm not trying to degrade this, because I do believe that it's a nice looking piece. Now, another thing that I don't like is this here, this lines, and I hope that this is just for the prototype in the mouth. You can see they just simply glue the mouth in to make it look like that. So you can see this lines, that needs to go. They need to have clean lines, so there's no lines. But besides that, you know, this is a big no-no for me. But besides that, what I can tell you this, I love the sculpt here. This is a nice Hulk. Really nice depiction of Hulk. Really like it. Look at that. Yeah, those lines needs to go. Yeah, they need to make it a solid piece right there. How they're gonna do it, that's up to them. They need to figure it out. But that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. They couldn't make the line just with the neck. And probably it's gonna be like that. But that's just no. Even as a prototype, it looks a big no-no. But love the paint job. And this is a nice representation of the Hulk. Classic Immortal Hulk. Really cool. Look at that. And too bad it's, you know, it's just PVC. But still, you know, sometimes, even if it's PVC, yeah, believe me, sometimes you can put some stuff, and some people will tell you, you can have some PVC stuff right next to some polyresin. People don't even know the difference. The average person will not know. So if you want something for a display, this is cool, you know, and it doesn't break the bank. Although $120, I still think this is going a little bit too high. Now look at this. Now more clean look without all the effect of the filter that you have there with the other pictures. Looks really good, man. I'm telling you, they need to do this as a fully polystone statue, so resin statue. That would be a much better choice in my opinion. But still, you know, even PVC collectors, they also deserve something good. That looks amazing. That really looks amazing. I love this sculpt here. Really love. But yeah, again, those lines, they need to go. That needs to go. They need to make it clean, a clean face. That would be awesome. And perhaps I add it to the collection. Who knows? If they remove those lines. Of course, we gotta wait to the final product to fully know. But this is the thing, you know, sometimes, you know, people are paying attention to the big stuff. Sometimes the small stuff can be good. You know, just have to kind of pay attention to it. All right, let's read some of the comments here. It says right here. All right, affordable, you mean? Diamond put out some good stuff. Yeah, affordable is good. You know, like there's nothing wrong with that. If it had the legs, then yeah. You're talking about the bus, okay? Hell yeah. No. Oh, hi all. I'm all well. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the chat. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Thank everyone that is tuning in. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the support. So I'm trying to using this little screen I can follow some of the stuff here. Okay. Thank you everyone that is tuning in. But yeah, this is the thing, you know, Gentle Giant is affordable. And well, it has been, no, Gentle Giant, so Diamond Selectors have always been known as affordable. However, some of the stuff, like for example, what you saw is going up in price. You know, if the companies that normally sell the affordable stuff now are skyrocketing with the price, then there's no hope for other companies, that's for sure. Because Diamond Select Toys has their own factories in China. They have their own places in China. So if they're already pricing themselves up, then you realize that, you know, there's no hope for the other companies. Unfortunately, that's how the business works. But I think in some ways they also need to limit some of the stuff. Like I think Galvatron is amazing. That's an amazing piece. But that needs to be, they need to rethink the price on that one. They definitely, $500 is too much for it. And on the PVC stuff, it's already up in price. You know, $100 would be perfect. It's a 1/7 scale, although depends on how big this Hulk is, because Hulk can be big. We'll see. This is the problem sometimes with Diamond Select Toys, is that even though they sell certain things at certain scale, when they come, they underscale. So that's something that is always being people have criticized Diamond Select for, because everything is on, they at least they tag it as a certain scale. When the collectors receive it, then they have something a lot smaller that doesn't really fit so well with some of their other members or other characters in their collection, other statues. So you want to have a standardized format. So definitely they need to kind of follow that. So now let's move on. You know, we already moved from those. Let's start going into more fancier companies, or companies more on the midterm. And I want to go to a company that I talked about it last week, and definitely it's a company that it's always producing some amazing stuff if you're a gaming collector, and that's First for Figures. And that's the reason I'm coming to their, we're going to come to their website. But again, to all of you, thank you for tuning in. And First for Figures, amazing stuff. I love this stuff. As a company, they have this 30th anniversary Sonic the Hedgehog. And I got to go and watch, not this weekend, but next week, I'm gonna watch it with my wife, and I'm taking my nephew to watch the movie. I'm looking forward to that movie. So here you can see there's 3 different versions. There's the regular standard version, there's the exclusive version, and then you have the definitive version, which you go for it. Now you can go, the standard you can order in different places. You can also go to Sideshow, they have the standard, but if you're looking for, let me show you the differences here. Now with the standard, it's $479, of course. You know, you have the early bird pre-order gift, which is you get a discount, which is always helps, you know, the little discount that you get, which is 10%, which in my opinion is really, really good. I think it's 10%. So this is the standard version. As you can see, really cool. It has the statue, a 30th anniversary. I like it. You know, they have produced other Sonic statues. I like this one. I you know, it's for the celebration. It comes with the authentication card, all of that, which is cool. Definitely this really cool. That's just for the standard. One thing I can tell you, I find the price steep. You know, even though I think this should be like a $350, maybe $400 the most, even with a discount. But you know, it's just me. It's just my opinion. You know, you don't always follow my opinion. Now, the exclusive, what it does have an interchangeable hand. It has the same authentication card. It's the same thing, but it has this interchangeable can where he's kind of closing the fist and this the open fist. So it's not a big change, but this is one that is cool. You like exclusive versions or something more, more finite in number. I don't know what the numbered. Supposedly they have edition sizes, but they haven't told us how many. I think they wait till later, or they might not even give it edition size to this one. So, and finally, we're gonna go. We're already here, so might as well just go for, because the price for this is the same for the exclusive that is only sold through their website. The regular is gonna be sold everywhere else. So I would say if you want the extra hand, then you come here. Now you want something that has everything else and has an extra thing to make it even cooler, then you go for the definitive edition. And the definitive edition is $524.99 with the discount, so it's a bit more expensive, as you can see. But the difference here, of course, you got the interchangeable hand. You got of course, the authentication card, which you get with that. You get this box, all of that. They announced the box. Nobody really cares about the box, but whatever. And what we see here is that this one has a light up feature. The light up feature is an LED. It has a screen in the back, and pretty much in the center of the ring. And then you have all these images of previous games in the franchise. So that's a cool concept. And light up features are, some people find them gimmicky, but I think on this one it's kind of cool. I'm not sure if it's removable, but that makes this the ultimate thing, the definitive thing. And it looks cool. Again, it's not, you can see the size. It has some size. If you have seen the statues produced by them, like the Mario statues, they're not that small. They're not that small. They have a good size. They're not scale they have a scale, but they're not like on their scale or anything. They just have a good size, height, and width. And definitely this is a nice looking piece. Definitely you're really a big fan of Sonic. You love the franchise, and definitely this is something that you will love and you will see. I like it. I think with the other one, what I like about this lighter feature is that it's gonna make it shine more. Something that just the empty space with the regular you don't have. And then you have the two hands. I do like the regular hand. The exclusive hand, it's okay, but it's he's running. But the two options are there, which is good. I like it. I think it's a nice looking piece. Definitely love the details there. Now this I didn't notice until now. This is actually kind of like something done in the paint job or something. Yeah, that's something that they did here. Oh, gold ring start effects with 2 LEDs. I think the function is there. Oh, this one is gonna have the LEDs there. It's gonna have like some type of clear resin there to create this little bright spots or whatever. That is cool. So I will tell you, this is if you're a Sega fan, Sonic fan, that's not a no-brainer. I think that's a nice looking piece as it is. All right, my friends, definitely this is, we're getting in motion now. Now we're gonna into the big boys. Now we're moving from the smaller stuff or smaller scale. Now we're gonna go into the quarter scale, because definitely there's some ground to cover. And I want to talk about Sideshow Collectibles. I want to talk about, and the reason I want to come to Sideshow Collectibles, I want to talk about Storm. And perhaps you have seen some of the pictures. Now Storm, they did some changes to her. And let's look at the changes. They added some of these pictures here. So we're coming. Now let me go back. Let me read this. Do you think that the new high prices we've seen now for everything will become the normal for years to come? That is a good question. Unfortunately, it's hard to tell. Now, one thing I know, based on my experience, this is what I know. I have seen the prices go up. I've never seen the prices come down. I've been statue collecting for 20 years. And in my 20 years of experience in this, I'm telling you, I've never seen the prices go down. And that goes for everything in life. Nothing is coming down. Now, and in some ways you have to see it from the perspective of economics, also inflation. Everything goes up. Back in the day, people could spend with $1, you can buy more stuff. Now, with $1 means nothing. So everything is gonna go up. Now, the hope that we have is that also our purchasing power increases, which is right now very unlikely because of the turmoil in the world with COVID, with the wars happening, with the high price of gas due to it too, and all of that. So I don't think it's gonna come down. The hope is that the economy stabilizes at some point and people have more purchasing power. Also, that means that the economy has to change, that people get paid more money, that the salaries, the minimum wage goes up, and that happens also. It's across the board. Some way, just because you raise the minimum wage doesn't mean that only the people that earn the minimum wage get a cut out of it. No, everyone else does, because once the people at the bottom of the tier can increase their what they make for a living, then of course everything goes in the same. It's kind of like it's an effect that happens all across the board. It's just something that happens at every stage. So it is possible. Now, I don't think we're gonna see lower prices than what we're seeing. I see that we're gonna see higher prices. The hope is that the prices right now that we come into this gets to a plateau right now, and it doesn't keep pushing up. We need to see more stabilized thing. I would love to see for these prices that are already high. I wanted to see them stay at least for a good amount of years before they keep rocketing, going up, because we have seen the last 2 years things going up to the point of they're double the price that were there 2 years ago. So this is something that is concerning. Yeah, but only time can tell. I cannot predict the future. Eventually, we'll all be millionaires. However, a lot of bread will be seven. That's right. This is the thing. Like, people don't see it from that, but we're gonna be making more money. People are gonna get paid more, but still, everything's gonna be more expensive. So it's just the way it is. There's a lot of things that could change, but it's at this point our dependency on China. It's unrefutable. You cannot refute it. We depend so much on the manufacturing in China. The hope is that companies can find ways and alternatives to find cheaper places to do the manufacturing. But at the same time, like, the thing is moving from one country to another country, the manufacturing, although there was a study that they were making that I was paying attention to, where the next country that people are looking at another manufacturing hub, and it's very likely that it's going to happen, is India. India has the infrastructure, the power. I couldn't pronounce that word, infrastructure. For a second, I was kind of hanging on that word. It has the infrastructure to do it. But, and it has the manpower. There's millions, billions of people living in India. And the second most populated country in the world, if I'm not mistaken, follow up, after China. And there is potential to do it in India. And there's other places where they can go. Vietnam, there's places that things can go. There's a lot of things. Some industries already moved some of their production in some of these countries. But it depends also on the stability of the country, the political stability, all of those factors. Latin America has gained power. There's always the potential in Latin America, but I don't think it's going to be the first choice. Although people have talked about Mexico, they have talked about other things. The thing is this: I think right now at this point is India. They could be the next big hub, after China. But also India has political upheavals. Has the some of the conflicts they have with Pakistan. All these things can always come in play. So we'll see. I think the options, it depends on the companies. It depends on the economy. It depends on the governments. It depends on so many factors that definitely are out of our control. We'll see. We can hope for the best. We can always hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. That's just the way it is. All right, guys, let's move on. We're talking about everything. That's what I love about being here in the chat with you, because we get to talk about a lot of things that affects us. But yeah, I want to talk about Sideshow Collectibles, and I want to cover Storm. I talked about Storm before. If you follow my channel, you know that I had the opportunity to talk about her. But now they added new pictures now because it has a light up feature that wasn't there before. And to be honest with you, I like it. I like the concept. It may be a bit gimmicky, but at the same time, it's good that Sideshow is rethinking and re-strategizing with some of the pieces. I think something that is very recent, they were not doing for the longest, but now they're doing, because ultimately you want to sell the product. You want people to pay attention to it. And there's competition, of course. You got XM, of course, they're all sold out. And this is an affordable piece, but with the light up feature, it makes it more, more enticing. And some people don't like the light up features, but to me, they're important. There's an aspect that really adds. Now, my hope for this is that the light up feature is strong enough, because sometimes I hate it. And here you can see it has a flicker and storm light effect. So it's going to have some effects. I like that. I just read this for the first time. I didn't know. It's going to have the flickering. Hopefully you can time it in different ways, because sometimes I hate the flickering that is too fast. I just hate it. It's going to give me some type of mental breakdown or something like that. I'm gonna start just convoluting I'm gonna have a convulsion right here. I don't like that. But I like the light up feature right there. Too bad it's not a video to show. It looks good. I think this is perhaps it's a product piece. It's not the prototype. I think I've seen some changes now. This is more like a final product piece or something. I forgot how they call it, the factory sample. It looks good. I like it. And they have oh wow, I didn't know that. This is a new thing that it wasn't showcased before. It has a magnetic attachment. Wow. That is new. I didn't know that. This is something else that they added. I like that. So if you want to just display like that without it, and you want to do certain things, that is cool. Definitely. These are the changes. Out here you can see the button, and also you can power right there. So it's not going to be battery operated. You're going to have to plug it with the cord, which is going to be included. That is awesome, because I hate it when they give you that, but they don't give you a power cord. Now you have to buy a power cord. Now, some people will complain about that, saying, well, if it doesn't have batteries, some people prefer batteries because you can change the batteries. With this die, they die out. Something that the light dies out inside, then how can you replace it? So there's always pros and cons. But to me, it looks good. It looks good. Yeah. Yeah, there are pros and cons, but I like it. Here you can see the effect. I like the light up effect. That looks pretty sick now. And that's the box. That's a nice looking box for sure. Love this style here from the 90s comics, with which she was doing her own comic and that title. That is cool. Look at the base. Love that. That's another thing that I love, the bottom of the bases from Sideshow. Always they have killer art. And here you can see with the other characters. Amazing. This collection looks good, man. It's growing really nicely. Look at that. Amazing. And still, so much to do with this collection. That is a phenomenal piece for sure. Yeah, I'm telling you, that storm is nice, and definitely it's nice to see Sideshow really going back to the drawing board and redoing some things. I think that's what people want. Yeah, we'll be first statue with an epilepsy warning. Yeah, that's what it was. I don't know why, sometimes the words don't come to my mind. Yeah, I feel like I haven't, you're going to have an epileptic attack right there with that if the flickering is too fast. I hate that. And I wish it was like, because it says flickering, but you don't see how fast it's going. It doesn't say if or not, unless you push it different ways, different times, it gives you different effects. I like more an effect that is more constant, but not necessarily like too fast, because then it means nothing to me. It's never going to be turned on. Light up is nice. Somebody mentioned the eyes would look nice as well. Yeah, that would be cool. Like they did, like we were just talking about, what is that, the Hot Toys, the light up feature with the figure, with the Moon Knight. I would love to see, this is a character that definitely deserves to have a light up feature with the eyes. Hopefully, although it's more complicated because of the way they do it, but they have done, other companies do it. Like you see Pure Arts do it all the time with a lot of the figures. They do all this nice things. Technically, when you are connecting with the peg to the statue, that definitely serves as the way to connect the energy to the eyes. But that's just it's a simple technology to use. It's something that is more common now. I think light up features now, LEDs last a lot longer than the light up features that they did in the past. So I think the potential to do something really nice is there. You have been warned. yeah, you have been warned that you can have an epileptic attack with that one. So it is what it is, but it's cool. I like it. I like it that this is the thing. I like and I praise Sideshow for doing this. I think this is something that they need to start doing more. Other companies like XM Studios have been doing for a while. Even Prime1 Studio has done some of that. So, Queen Studios, all these companies, they go back to do things and redo certain things just to keep customers happy. And this is something that Sideshow never did, because they didn't have to. But now they have to, because when you're competing with so many different companies, with every company that is coming left and right is actually doing it, they're doing good customer service on that end, on the really listening to the feedback and making adjustments to the final product, then what is the excuse? What, in this case, what Sideshow can say, oh, I cannot do it. They can make all kind of excuses, and they always did. But now other companies saying, well, it is possible. So, you know, Sideshow has no choice but to do the same thing. And that to me, it's good. You know, that to me it really gives more power to the consumer. You know, it's the power for us to say this is what we want. Not saying that we always use that power right, because sometimes people, they cry for a lot of stupid reasons, but at least gives us the ability to have a decisive, you know, a decision, you know, be part of the decision making there, and to have this, you know, an input that, you know, they're listening and they take it into account into what we want in the end. So that's good. All right, guys, now let's move on. I want to move on to I want to go to Prime1 Studio. Now, we're still on the quarter scale, but I want to look at Alien Ripley. We're going to go very fast with this one because I already talked about it. You need to watch my video where I cover that. And I really like it. You know, this is a pretty cool piece. Really like what they did here. And I'm going to go pretty much very quick on it, so we don't waste too much time with it, because you can watch my video and I point everything I needed to point out there. This is a younger version of Ripley. This is good. There's no other competition out there for this. Of course, you can say, one thing I would love for this is to have that, I forgot the name of the girl, but the girl that would have been nice to have the girl that she was carrying the girl and pretty much as part of the poster and all of that. That would be nice. So for some reason, maybe because of the rights, who knows, they didn't want to have that. But that would be this, to me, a very good thing. But if they bring the girl, then also they have to make this an older version. So I think what they went with this idealized version of her, a younger version. They never specified the reason why they decided to do it like that. This was the request from the licensor. So that means that this came directly from 20th Century Fox, which is owned by Disney. Maybe that was a decision. Maybe it was also the decision of the actress. Sigourney Weaver wanted to look younger, so they, through their different lawyers, say, well, this is what we want, because the actors have a say in their look, how they look. They can approve it or disapprove it. Now, that would be an option. That would be maybe I would say a scenario. A second scenario would be that they are not paying Sigourney Weaver, so they decide to make it look like her, but not 100%, so they don't have to pay Sigourney Weaver the rights. And that would be not a decision by Prime1 Studio. It has to be a decision by 20th Century Fox. So that could be the second scenario. I didn't mention that on the video. Those are the two scenarios that could be here. It could be because, you know, like 20th Century Fox wants this her to be younger, and also Sigourney Weaver wants to look younger, so they decide to do it this way. Or it could be that 20th Century Fox, that is owned by Disney, don't want to pay the rights to Sigourney Weaver, her likeness. So they decide to go with something that looks like the character because they own the character, but they don't own the likeness of Sigourney Weaver. So that's how it works, you know? So at the end of the day, I think it looks fantastic. It's a great looking Ripley. It's better than anything that has been produced before. There's been many different custom pieces, smaller pieces from other producers for years in the past, a very small 1/6 or smaller. This is better than anything else, you know. And I love what they did, even with the base. They has this light up feature right here where you can see through, like you see the different levels of this place. That is, to me, amazing. So they did an amazing job. Love the detail. Love what they're doing here. So overall, nice looking depiction. Now let me read the notes here. We have some. I never cared for a light up. I still haven't tested the light up on the Hush Batcave. I hope it works. Yeah, this is one thing. Light up features are gimmicky. Yes, at the end of the day, they're gimmicky. It's good to have them, but you don't use them much. To be honest, I have statues with light up features that I never use. I never did. Maybe once in a while I turn the light, you know, just to look at it, but to showcase it to someone, but that's about it. You're not going to use it, but it's good to have them. It's a good choice. And I think at the end of the day, people want to have the power of choice. You know, they want to have more control. They want to showcase that they can do certain things. They're nice when you first unbox, but after that, I never fuss with them. Yeah, you know, you play with them. This is the thing. You play with at first, you put them on for a little bit, then you turn it off, and then pretty much. And the same happens even with switch out parts. You change the switch outs at the beginning because it looks nice when you're setting everything out of the box. But then you only choose one single display. That's the one you prefer. And that's the one, the switch out parts that you're going to use. That's it. You're not going to be switching all the time. So ultimately, we are creatures of habit, and we have a preference, and we're going to choose one thing over the other. So yeah, it could be considered gimmicky, you know. That's how it is. All right, let's look at this. It's good for photos, yes, you know, and we'd like to take photos. I'll, you know, like to take photos, so you can post it on Instagram, on Facebook, and all of that. You know, you can showcase to your friends or in the forums that that you have this piece. You know, it looks good for that. Is the face off or a little young looking? It is young looking. And as I mentioned, it's because, you know, those are the scenarios that, you know, according to people that are close to Prime1 Studio, it was the decision of the licensor. They didn't specify why they decided to go that way, but those are the scenarios that I pointed out that I'm thinking that is the case. It could be a decision that was done by 20th Century Fox, whether and also by the actress, if they are paying both. If they're only paying 20th Century Fox and 20th Century Fox don't want to pay residual credit to Sigourney Weaver, what they're going to do is like, oh, make her look like her, but not her. So that way, you know, that's the way they can go around it. So those are the two reasons that I think. Of course, you know, I'm not an insider. I'm not there, but this is what I consider the factors there. Yeah, smart move, infinity light. Yeah, I like the light on the way that it goes down. Yeah, because it's like you can see the different levels. Like you can see if she's going through the stairs going up. So that is really cool. I like the way they did it there. The infinity mirror look is great. Yeah, it's just really cool. It has a really nice effect. And yeah, I wish, you know, they can utilize that for other statues in the future. I think it's a great idea. I never seen it done that way. The way they did it, you know, the mirror, like it creates that image, of course, at different levels. That to me, that's really cool. And they should do more often. Too bad that it's only at the bottom. So definitely when you're looking at Ripley, you're not going to see it. Unless, if you put it at eye level, you're not going to see it. Unless you have her a little down, so you can see her face like that. And you're looking down like this when you're looking at the statue on the display. You know, then definitely you're going to look at the effect and it's going to be cool. But at eye level, if you have Ripley raised higher, then definitely you're going to miss that. So you need to put a little under you so you can look at Ripley, but also you can look at the bottom. That would be cool. So yeah, that was a really nice touch right there. All right, guys. And I want to move. And now that we're in this place and the quarter scale, we have another piece that I want to cover here. And I think it's an anticipated piece for a lot of people. And for that reason, I want to move to XM Studios. XM Studios always amazes with what they do. I love what they do. You know, and I'm saying that everything they do is, you know, it's like mind-blowing. But I love what they do because they have such intensity in what they do in their art. And that intensity translates so well in every part of they do. Right here you can see the Dawnbreaker. This line, you know, it's been doing so fine. It's doing good. They're doing good. And I want to give credit here. This is a great thing I love about what they do is they give credit to the artists. Of course, we have Riccardo Federici, who is the designer of this collection. He's the one doing this. It doesn't say actually what they do here, which is, I think they forgot. But just to keep in mind, Riccardo Federici is the designer. And Nathan Mansfield is the sculptor here. And the XM Studio Design and Development team. So in-house, they do everything else, which is, you know, putting things together and also doing the paint job. All that they do in-house. But here, let's look at the pictures. This is a very, and again, you know, XM Studios always have this vibrancy when it comes about the poses. You know, you see the statue on an action pose, a very dynamic pose, and it looks super cool. I love the effect, of course, of this creature that he's, you know, using with his ring. It looks super coming out of the ring. They did a nice effect. Love the paint job on that base. Look at the dimensions, 60 centimeters in height, which is pretty high. You know, it's not super, like I would say, super tall, but yeah, it is there. 13 kilograms has weight, but I really love the way they did it. Now, I love that it has the interchangeable portraits and they have this stand, which is kind of cool, kind of following the same concept of the base. It looks good. Now, people are going to make comparisons. They're already making comparisons with this and the Prime1 Studio, which I think is an amazing looking piece, but that one is more a museum pose. This one is a dynamic pose, which is in line with what they're doing with this collection so far. Looks really neat. Love the detail. Love the paint job. That green, the jade green looks amazing in my opinion. The detail on the sculpt, really cool. Love this. The paint job here with this resin looks kind of clear, but it's not. But they did a nice paint job with it. Look at that. Look at that. Love the detail on that paint job. That creature. The tentacles on the creature looks really good. Look at the face of Dawnbreaker. It's really cool. And I will tell you, I'm not really a fan of this, the Dark Knight's Metal. You know, yeah, I like the Dark Knight Metal. I've read the Dark Knight's Metal, but I'm not like, oh my god, I need to have a statue of it. Some people do, though. There are a lot of people that are loving this collection. They're loving also the Prime1 Studio collection. And for obvious reasons, the concept is cool. They look super cool, but to me, I prefer more classic look of characters. I prefer classic characters. But I gotta give him credit. Look at the face, man. Nice paint job. This is a nice paint job. Really cool. And a really nice skull with a lot of detail. Love the screaming portrait. This is a nice effect. You can even display it this way and it's gonna be fine. Really nice. This is a very unique piece. And to be honest, Sideshow doesn't get to produce this kind of things. And, you know, they start doing, of course, they got the Batman Who Laughs, but we might get to see this, but how many years is going to pass until we get to see it? Maybe by that time, the fascination for this character is going to die out, and then Sideshow's going to move on to the next Batman. Because that's what they do. They move on to the next Batman. Oh, like, let's do this. Let's, like, 10 years, you know, you're collecting something, all of a sudden, yeah, let's do a Batman. How many Batmans you get in the matter of 10 years? You get so many Batmans. There's always going to be the same classic Batman, but this is a really cool concept. Love the base that they use this, the little stand for this. That is super, super cool. Yeah, I love this one. You know, even though not a fan, I would say. And yes, we can make the comparisons, and people are going to make the comparisons always. And yeah, Prime1 Studio kills it on the 1/3, but this one as a quarter scale is fascinating. All right, let's read the comments. I have yet to own an XMR piece on the bucket list. Yeah, me too. I don't have an XM piece in my collection. I think the 1/6 would be the choice. But the problem that I have with the 1/6 stuff that they do so far is that they're using the Rebirth line or the DC Universe line, which is the newer thing. And, you know, as much as I kind of like the concept, and necessarily I'm like a big fan, although some of those pieces that they have showcased, I'm really I really like, and I'm definitely looking forward to add some of them to my collection at some point. There's a few that I've been eyeballing for a little bit, also through Spec Fiction. So I don't know. We'll see. I think now that they're going into the route where they're also producing some stuff, you know, on the Cheetah. I kind of like the Cheetah that they just released for the 1/6, also as a quarter scale. And that one I like, and because I'm already have the Twitterhead on pre-order, it might be able to kind of go alongside Twitterhead. Because I'm going into the Twitterhead route right now, I might be able to also add it. We'll see. You know, there's a couple of things. If they go more on the classic route, then definitely I will add it because I don't know. I like classic stuff. That's just me. But yeah, it's on my bucket list as well. So yeah, it's I think they have a lot of potential. There's other things that I would love to see for them to do. Some of those pieces are really fantastic looking, that's for sure. But yeah, Dawnbreaker looks amazing. Nothing wrong with it. Let me drink a little bit of this. And right now my back is killing me. I'm telling you. What happened? What I mentioned earlier, I went to this event or this from the job earlier today. We had those team building gatherings where you do all kind of exercises and outside. You know, we try to do all sort of things to try to engage and work with your team for the company. And definitely there was a lot of the different departments. I work in the office. People work in the field because we provide service. It was interesting. But yeah, we do a couple of things where we have to stretch and do certain things. I have to do this and that. It was kind of a little bit of exercise. So man, I'm telling you, I'm not used to exercise anymore as I used to. So my back, it was killing me. Like, not killing me, but now it's killing me. But it was hurting. I was thinking, man, it's going to hurt me a little bit tonight. And so that's the reason I came home and I took a nap. And I wake up and I'm feeling good. But now that I've been sitting in this position, now I can feel, oh yeah, now I start feeling it. So, you know, a little bit. Well, that's what happened when you get old, man. When you get old, just like you cannot really do the same things you did when you were in your 20s. Now, do you think XM will come out with a Spider-Man diorama similar to Batman's Sanity? Possible. It is possible. Nothing is impossible for XM. This is the thing. XM has been doing amazing stuff. Like, for example, Maestro. As soon as the Maestro comes on pre-order, we'll talk about it. But all these pieces that they're producing, they don't care about the sizes. You know, they can go with the dioramas. They can do something like that. It's possible. Now, would be the same? I think with the Sanity is because they have this partnership with what? With David Finch. So because they have this partnership with David Finch, you know, I don't think it's gonna be kind of the same, but the possibility is there. Although I really like your idea, because that would be awesome. It would be awesome because, this is the thing. Like, for example, like if you're Bowen fans here, like Pudgy, who knows this? Like, it's so beautiful when you make this whole display with, like, I've seen many displays with the Batman, the Spider-Man from Bowen, and you see all the villains, this huge display. Amazing, Spider-Man. And Blindsider, for example, Blindsider was a person that I love very deeply, in the sense of I love what he does, not because I love him, but I love him as a collector. Blindsider, you don't know Blindsider. He did, and you follow him on Instagram. Follow Instagram. Keep stretching it. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I see how. That's what I do. I'm gonna keep stretching. I need to, and this is something that I've been doing. And now I'm taking a little break before we go back to what we're talking about. This is what I'm doing. Like this year is one of my plans is to exercise. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to go with this live videos, because I cannot continue doing videos because videos are time consuming. Because of my job, I come from work, I commute, come to work, and I making changes for my life. I cannot just simply sit down on the computer. I'm sitting down on the computer all day. And now coming home, I cannot be sitting down on the computer making videos. So I decided to change. I'm changing things. I'm exercising. I'm going for walks. I'm doing more physical stuff for my own health. I tried to also with my wife trying to go out. So we're going out, and that's what I want. This is my priority for my life. So I say, I need to break something. I need to break the chain of following, doing the same thing over and over. So this is what I've been doing. So that's the reason why I'm making now the Friday videos. I'm still gonna make some videos from time to time and during the week for other stuff. But I want to do the live videos because that way I can have my life and my time to exercise and get back on track with my health 100%. And that's what I'm doing. So definitely stretching, exercising, walking is more something that I've been doing. And I want to go back to do more, bike riding and do trails and stuff like that. That's something that I want to go back to. So that's where my plan is. So that's what I'm doing. So yeah, stretching, that's what I'm doing every day, trying to do it. But today was a little bit like, oh, we have to do certain things I wasn't expecting. But it's good to push ourselves and to feel better. Yeah, going back to Blindsider. Blindsider does amazing photography. The guy is super cool, and he doesn't have as many followers on Instagram, but he's trying to build his Instagram page. And I'm telling you, I always love the pictures. And there's pictures that he did where he had all these characters together, all the villains and Spider-Man in his collection. Amazing looking collection. And it would be great if XM Studios, now going back to that point, gets to do something like that, like a display, like a diorama, where you can see Spider-Man surrounded by all his foes, all of the villains. That would be awesome. Definitely that would be awesome. Can we get to see it at some point? Who knows? But it will be awesome. And I think that a lot of people will pay money for it. They will definitely pay for it. So time will tell. All we can do is cross fingers and actually ask, try to say every time you go to their groups, mention it, ask, and hey, they listen. They do listen. I'll tell you, the guys at XM Studios, they interact with people on social media, on Facebook primarily, and they listen. So talk to them and they will listen to you. You never know. So yeah, and I will have for Blindsider, I will have probably the link in the description. Remind me. So I will have the link in the description for later videos so people can come and see him, because the guy deserves that. He's really cool. I love Blindsider. Well, the Blindsider stuff. All right, time to move on. Let's go now on the 1/3 scale route, and I want to cover PCS. And this is something that, to me, I will tell you one thing. It's not like, oh my God, I'm just such a fan of horror things. I'm not a fan of horror. It's not my thing. Some people love it, but it's not my thing. But I totally understand, because there's a lot of fans out there that really love the horror stuff. So we're coming here right now to Sideshow Collectibles. We're going back to Sideshow. And I'm going to look at the Ghostface 1/3 scale statue by PCS. $1,300, well, $1,400 and plus, when you do the shipping. There's two different versions. There's a collector's edition, which is the regular version, and there's the exclusive version. Now, I think the exclusive version has a swap out bloody mask and bloody knife, which, cool concept. I think at this price point, might as well just go for that one. But this is very interesting. Now, I do like the French door, and he's coming through the French door. That is really cool. And you see the curtains, I think, coming back. That is a cool concept. That door frame is really nice. And the curtains right there. It doesn't have a light up feature. Well, actually, it would be nice to have the light up feature as you see on that. But I like the effect that they did on the light up on the back. So this is something that I will definitely recommend anyone follow the example that they do in this picture and do the same thing. Put a light up on the back, an LED, just to kind of have that effect. That would be awesome. It looks good. 1/3 scale, man. The bloody knife, the bloody mask, and it jumping out. This is a nice color. You even see the curtains coming through. That is a really cool concept. Look at that. Now, looking at the light up, I'm starting to think that it may have a light up feature. Hopefully, we can see a picture of the back. You can see the stone. Oh, I like the back here. Look and see the, he's coming through the door. You can see. No, it doesn't have a light up feature, but man, it would be nice. Although here, this is, what is that? That might be a light up. Oh, that's still a voice or telephone voice change. Okay, this is on the movie. Something from the movie. I'm telling you, I don't care much about the movie. So look at that. The detail on the door is pretty nice. Even, do you see? They did the detail on that door with the paint job, the stucco on the wall. That is really, really neat. Yeah, that is pretty neat. Nice concept. I don't know. Some of you guys are fans of this franchise. If you love horror movies, I'm not. No, it's not my thing. I respect. My brother loves horror. He's a big horror fan. He loves all the horror stuff. This is not what I do, but that looks pretty cool. Yeah, that is a nice concept as a 1/3 scale, pricey, but definitely I know there's a lot of horror fans out there that love this stuff, and I'm sure it's gonna sell. It's gonna sell. But I love the concept of what they're trying to do with it. It's just cool. It's just really cool. But yeah, guys, we're coming to an end. But I want to say to all of you, this is actually take a little longer than last week. But I want to say, guys, man, I'm telling you, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate that you're doing this, and it's just amazing what they're doing. I love to talk about this collectibles. I watch the videos, or I'm busy. I don't get the chance to do it at work, but and I really don't like to interact on Facebook because this is the thing. You post something on Facebook, somebody replies to you, and then you have to reply back and all that. And to be honest with you, I don't have the time, like to answer back and get into conversation. So, I like it to do it here. The forum, something that unfortunately many people have moved away from forums, so you don't have as much interaction, and Statue Marvel disappear. I don't really do sideshow freaks anymore. I still get the emails, but I just don't go there more. In such a forum, I kind of go back and forth sometimes just to look. I don't participate anymore, but I see some of the interactions there. There's that price again. I'm really liking the horror 3rd scale stuff. My options are limited with the price. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Everything is now on the $1,000 mark, and unfortunately, it's one thing, like it's where we're going. And even the 1/6 scale stuff is now what, $500, $600. So it's just slowly becoming that, and the 110 is turning into 300, 350. So everything is just skyrocketing. And I think that price for that, the $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 is becoming the 1/3 standard price. And everything else above that is just super expensive. But now we're going to talk about now coming really to the end of this video. There's one more piece that I want to cover. We covered a lot of ground today, and I thank all of you, the ones that have been here from the beginning to I thank you, and all the people that have been here for some time and they have left. Thank you to all of you. Thank you. I really appreciate your time. But I want to cover this. I really want to cover this. I want to go to and I'm gonna be here still on Sideshow, but I want to cover the piece, in my opinion, that it looks terrific, and it's a welcome thing, but it's super expensive, and it's huge as heck. And this is the Sauron life-size boss by Infinity Studio in collaboration with Penguin Toys, which technically is their distributor, their own Infinity Studio. But here, this is only limited to 100 pieces, 99 pieces, super limited, $5,000 plus shipping. Imagine the shipping. The shipping is gonna be, because this thing is huge. This bus, when I'm thinking about this Sauron, I'm thinking, they can decrease the guy. But when they go life size, there's been some, like, what was that? Queen Studios did that big Thanos bus, which in my opinion was super huge. Well, in my opinion, this is even bigger than that. Yeah, that one was maybe wider because he has the extended hand, all that. But that was a huge bust, life-size bust. But this Sauron, it's bigger. It's a lot bigger. And I'm telling you, it does have all this. Here are the things that we say is that this is a perfect replica of this life size. Through the built-in magnet switch, the description of the ring rather than the overall ring can be illuminated. So it does have a light-up feature on the ring, which is kind of cool. The 2 lines in the black speech from the rhyme of lore describing the rings were accurately written in the Elvish 10-word script, meaning 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. So it does have a lot of detail. It does have the artist involved here. The sculptor is Chen Suo. I think I pronounced it right. I maybe mispronounce it. And the design is ZJ Chen. Now, one thing you're going to see, this is an oversized item. He's even giving the description and giving the warning. The shipping cost will be calculated on dimensional weight rather than product weight for this item due to its oversized dimensions. Now, when you look at this, they're doing this in fabric and fiberglass, polystone and LED. So I will tell you, it's going to have some elements of polystone, but a big part of it is going to be fiberglass because it's the only way. Because if you do this polystone, man, this is going to be 200, 250 pounds, 200 pounds at least. So they have to accommodate. So fiberglass is going to be the vast majority. I think the base perhaps is going to be the hardest part, the polystone, but I'm imagining everything else to be made of fiberglass. It's going to be super heavy and super expensive. Probably you're only going to pay $5,000 just for this, and probably you're going to pay another $5,000 just for the shipping. That is just very likely. I'm just guessing here. I may be wrong, but yeah, this is a legendary piece. This is for a special collector. This is for the people that, not only that, you know, like people are asking, where am I supposed to have this? The truth of the matter is that nobody. This is, when you look at the dimensions, and we're going to look at dimensions in a moment. You look in, this is 175 centimeters. 175 centimeters. So it's taller than some people. It's taller than some men. It's taller than my wife. It's taller than it's taller than people. And I would say it's 175 centimeters, but which is technically, when you calculate, you're looking at around roughly 5.5 feet, 7.5 inches. So it is tall. It is a tall piece from this. So if you're in a normal ceiling of a house, if you put it on a stand, or, you know, this is going to be, you don't have space. You don't have the ceiling for it. So you're going to have like a huge ceiling. Huge space between, you know, you have to have a huge space. So you have to have like a really tall room. So that's the only way that it's, because you cannot, if you put it on the ground, it's a do a disservice to the bus. You know, it has to be at high level. But it is really, really huge. And $5,000, man. To be honest with you, this is the thing where I can say that sometimes I prefer for companies to kind of give you the idea. They couldn't just simply not make it life-size bus, maybe a half scale. A half scale would have been a much better choice, and still would be a half scale. It still would be bigger than most bus that they sell in this collection that Infinity Studio produces. It will be a half scale. It will be, if it's 5 cm close to 6, you're talking about almost 3 feet. You know, we're still 3 feet is a pretty good size bus. So, but yeah, no, they decided to go all out. And to be honest, that's the reason why it's super limited at 99 pieces, which I know, you know, like some people are going to be crazy. Some people have top dollar, you know, people that had too much money to spend and no common sense. They're going to spend the money on that. But to me, it's like, not only is the expenditure that you have there for the 5,000 plus the shipping, it's also where you're going to put it. You're going to have to have a shrine for it. And, you know, you're going to have to tour the walls, the ceiling, and have an extra room, you know, like something like that. You know, it's just it's not feasible for every collector. So when people ask, who is the collector for this? Who is the one that's going to get this? The one that has too much money, or the one that has a museum for a house? You know, you have the mausoleum, you have a big space, you have like a big oval place where you can have everything. And, you know, that would be the perfect place. And I'm sure some people do, even in this hobby, you know, people that I know. But, you know, it's not the average collector. Now, you see the light-up feature on the ring. That is cool. It is a huge piece. And I love the base. I love the concept. I just find it extremely, extremely big. And yes, even if you can afford the $5,000, if I had the $5,000, I might as well put the $5,000 towards Bruce Lee or any of the other characters that they have produced than going for this. You know, it's just, I find it as a lifestyle. Look at this. Like, this picture gives the idea. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. It's 175 centimeters. So my wife will be right here somewhere. Not even close. And then 128, the width, 74 the depth. And they give you this reference from this person. That is huge, man. That is huge. Like it though. And I would love to see it in person. But it's not doable. Not doable for me, not doable for most people. You know, like, I just don't. Yeah, it is cool. And we can praise him for the, you know, the cool concept. But it's not doable. Yeah, that is a huge piece. I'm telling you, that is such a huge, huge statue. And it's amazing. You know, it's amazing looking. I love when companies go, you know, they, you know, pretty much they go all out, you know, go big or go home. You know, that's why they're doing it and how they roll. But the average collector doesn't have that. You know, unfortunately, they don't. Well, my friends, I want to say to all of you, I truly appreciate your time. I definitely do. I know this has been an interesting chat. Many of you that have come and, you know, many of you have come and go, and I know it's been a lengthy conversation here. I will have, like I normally do, I will have this I'm going to have the timestamps. So for this video, when it goes, you know, recorded video, you're watching this, so you can use the timestamp, so that way you can go to different sections to when we talk about certain things, and we're gonna have that. But yeah, I want to say to all of you, thank you very much. I'm really enjoying the shows. It's the way, as I mentioned earlier, it's for my own health. The reason why I decided to do it this way. I love to make videos and talk about things individually, but it was becoming too time consuming for me. And now with my new schedule, it's just impossible. And at the same time, I want to give you quality content. I want to talk about the things that I know you want to talk about. So this is what we're doing. And I'm covering collectibles. I'm not just showing statue one thing. I'm covering a lot of different things. Because, you know, I think collectors come in all different shapes and sizes. That's the kind of piece you put to guard your front door entrance of your castle. Yeah, that is the piece. But man, that would be like, that will take that thing is bigger than the door frame, you know, like, well, close, you know, that thing is wider than the door frame. It's just super, super. Now, next Friday, I'm not sure, because what happened is this, it's very likely that I'm going to do it's going to be next Thursday. That's what I'm planning to do. If I don't do it Thursday, perhaps Saturday, but it's going to be I don't think Saturday. It's going to be Thursday. I'm not promising anything Friday, because this is what happened. We're visiting family. My brother-in-law, unfortunately, had some sort of heart attack. So you know, and he's back in the home. You know, he's in recovery. He's recovering. He was fine. It was it was not as major, but it was something. So we're going to visit. Of course, it's also because of the, you know, the Easter holiday, you know, the Easter weekend, all that. So we're gonna go on Friday, and because I'm off, my wife is off as well. So we're gonna go to visit. It's a drive. It's probably 3 hours. Yeah, Mojo. Sorry, Mojo, but yeah, you can watch the replay. You know, we talk about a lot of things today, a lot of things. So that's good. But yeah, next Friday I'm gonna be doing that, and we coming back perhaps that day or not. We're gonna stay a night or whatever, because he lives like 3 hours away. But we're gonna visit him, and I'm taking my mother-in-law as well. And but we're going to be there. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. By the time I come back, I'm not sure if we're coming back. So we don't know. We don't know if I'm gonna stay over the weekend or something. So I'm not gonna be able to make the video. But I'm thinking about doing it on Thursday night and concentrate on the stuff that is for the week. So stay tuned for the Thursday night. Also, like I was telling you earlier on, I'm gonna make the live video on Sunday morning. This Sunday, coming Sunday, I'm doing the 8 a.m. We're doing live. We're reacting live to the video from Queen Studios, the stuff that they're releasing, all the surprises they have. So stay tuned, 8 a.m. The video is gonna be an hour. I'm gonna probably start around 7:45. Stay tuned. I will have the stuff is gonna go when I update the stuff and the thumbnail and all that. So that's gonna be around 7:45. I'm going live. You know, prepare a few minutes, talk with you, chat for a little bit, then watch the video. You can join me in the morning if you're willing to wake up that early. It's 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're in California, I'm sorry, it's gonna be too early for you, but you can always watch the replay, and we're gonna react to it. So this is Sunday, this Sunday. And the next video is going to be probably Thursday night next week instead of Friday. But that's just for next week, because the plan is to do every Friday video. So every Friday from now on, unless something major happens and I cannot do it on Thursday, I will let you know. But the plan is at least for Thursday. Thursday, I'm going to have the video and I'll talk about all this stuff. And of course, then the next week, the following week, we'll continue with the videos on Friday. So that's the plan. You know, we'll see how it goes. But looks like I'll be cooking breakfast. Yeah, that's what happened. I got to get up. This is what I'm going to do. Let me drink this. This is what I'm gonna do. I told my wife I'm gonna get ready. So normally on Sunday, because we go to church, on Sunday, so normally like try to get up a little late, but because of that, I'm gonna have to get up early, very early, so I can catch on, get ready, you know, make the video live, all that stuff, and then after I do that, after I make the video, you know, of course, you know, like by the time it's 9 something, whatever, you know, I'm gonna have to make breakfast. I'm gonna have to do all this stuff, get ready while she gets ready and all that, which, you know, my wife doesn't take long, but, you know, she'll get ready. And then, of course, we can head to church, because when we go to church, it takes like 45 to an hour to get there, because we go farther down the road. Actually, we cross the state. We go to Georgia to church. So we go there. So yeah, we're gonna have to get up early, and to be honest, like, I wish it was like late in the evening. That would be awesome, but you know, they do it because of their time, which is totally understandable. They're 12 hours ahead of us, so it is what it is. Yeah, Batman, thank you very much. See you on Sunday. I'll see you Sunday. Wake up and we'll eat some breakfast, something together, and watch this stuff, and hopefully they kill it. You know, I don't know. I'm really, you know, crossing my fingers, because there's a lot of stuff that the Queen Studios can bring. Definitely, they already said that they're gonna showcase some stuff that is coming for the figure collectors, 1/6 figure collectors, but also they have some statues, and I want to see what statues they have and what is it that they're coming up with. So we'll see, my friends. I want to say to all of you, Mojo, just watch the replay, and thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it, man. Batman, Late Night Trip, thank you for tuning in. Pudgy, JFR, thank you to all of you. There's so many people that I might just keep right here. All of you, thank you very much. Every person that has taken the time, all friends. Brian J, thank you very much for tuning in, and so on and so on. Man, there's so many people here that Knight, for example, also Knight, thank you. Sorry I didn't see you before, but you're there. Catch that Gemini, thank you very much for tuning in. Everyone, thank you very much. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate your friendship, and God bless you. Take care this weekend. Enjoy the weekend with your family. Have fun, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.